Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours on this Monday afternoon. A lot to get to over these next 3 hours. It's the sports equinox. We've got all the major pro sports going tonight. We had a busy weekend with college football, NFL, and Brett, it's another Monday. That means another head coach in college football fired. It feels like an every week occurrence at this point. We had NBA, the Grizzlies in action with a couple games over the weekend. Tonight, the Tigers and the Razorbacks will meet in an exhibition game for St. Jude. We'll talk about that, talk about everything from the weekend. We'll get into this Monday night football game as well. Plenty to get into over these next 3 hours. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. Say that Razorbacks, Tigers, St. Jude thing again.
Razorbacks, Tigers, exhibition tonight, FedEx Forum for St. Jude. I think I got it all in there, probably more that I didn't get to. 30 players honored before the game.
Doesn't
played for Cal. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. I'll be down there tonight. The women, they played before against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, a really good women's basketball program. At 5:30, so get there early, see the women's, 8 o'clock tip for the men's. So, yeah, it's going to be a really fun night.
The fun I've had in my life following the Razorbacks and Tiger basketball and the difference that St. Jude has made for all of us in every walk of life. What a great concept and great idea. And I hope people will buy up to the last second.
Yeah, I hope so. And I bought my tickets earlier this morning, so I've got those. And it sounds like this weekend and even today, sales are good. Like I said, I got mine earlier today when I was on Ticketmaster. It looked like a lot of kind of that lower bowl, even into the pinnacle level, that middle level. Seemed like a lot of those tickets were taken, and then terrace level kind of waiting to get that filled out with maybe people today. But I mean, it looked like after everything we kind of heard last week, looked like maybe picking up over the weekend and into today, which I hope so.
Well, that's great. You know, St. Jude is the patron saint of lost causes, and I thought a good crowd latter part of last week was kind of on the lost cause front, so that sounds good that people have perked up and started buying. I do think exhibition, preseason, in late October, it's still hard for people to understand. And how do we celebrate the sports equinox? We celebrate it every day.
That's right, yes, always the sports equinox for us. But, yeah, no, I mean, I think exhibition, October, Monday night at 8 o'clock, it's not in my opinion, the best time for an exhibition game. But
sounds better.
Yeah, no, it sounds like people are excited for it and should be a really, really good crowd tonight. So I'm excited to get down there. And
there will be plenty for either side, win or lose, to take a lot from. People are in a lot of these exhibitions. Around the country, it's like spring football. You can take out of it whatever you want.
Yeah, and it really is, like you said, starting to get like to what spring football is, where we've got all of these spring football games televised, and everyone wants to take a lot out of it. I will not be taking much of anything out of tonight for either side, Memphis or Arkansas, and I don't think.
Glad to have it.
Sure, no, I love it. I do kind of hate how commercialized it's gotten. I do love the charity aspect of it for sure. But let's remember last year when the Tigers played in both their exhibition games, everyone thought this team was going to be terrible, and they ended up being a pretty good team. I think take everything with a grain of salt in these exhibition games. But super excited to get down there and see, kind of start learning this team, all new players. So we'll learn a lot tonight.
Grizzlies late tonight, and the 2-1 that we all talked about and said, in any math for end of the year, whether you're a 55-win team or a 35-win team, somewhere in that 2-1 felt like it needed to happen, and it did. And I told y'all, speaking of things that don't matter, I'm glad I wasn't one of the people that overreacted to Cedric Coward having 1 point in the first preseason game. I'm glad I was Mr. Judicious, saw the long game, didn't overreact. Landon, there's no need to roll your eyes.
No,
there's no need for any of those reactions.
No,
I'm glad I
not.
recognized that he was going to be the Rookie of the Year and wearing number 23, our version of Michael Jordan.
Yes,
I'm glad I didn't jump to any conclusions.
That's right, Brett. You know, we are very, very level-headed on this show.
Yes.
Would never overreact to anything. But no, after a really ugly game Friday night for the entire Grizzlies team, the story
counts one game.
That's exactly right. But the story of the NBA, not even just Memphis, the story of the entire NBA, the Saturday night was what he did in that game and looked really, really good. 27 points for Cedric Coward, 6 for 6 for 3. I mean, you look at, and again, I understand. Just like we are, we of course did not overreact to 1 point in the preseason game. I do not want to overreact to 3 games in, but currently shooting 70.4% from the field, 72.7% from 3, and averaging 19 points per game.
You can call it overreacting all you want. I think it is prudent on my part just to recognize his overall greatness and what we're getting ready to have. Not only Rookie of the Year, but probably our first wire-to-wire Grizzlies only Hall of Famer. I mean, I don't think that's overreaction
no,
at
of
all.
course not. Of course not. He's going to start his career here. He's going to end his career here and go down as one of the greats of all time.
If I sound a little loopy, I'll tell you a reason why. There was a point on Saturday after the Ole Miss game, after post game, after everything, in traffic in Norman. I'm riding with my good friend Glenn Waddle, who is the public address announcer at games at Vaught Hemingway and on the road. He's our in-booth statistician and booth assistant and great helper and great friend. And we're riding, and I looked at the clock. I'm driving, and I looked at the clock, and it said like 5:12. And I seriously asked him, I said, Glenn, is that Central Time or Eastern Time? He said, Brad, you need some rest.
So you really thought you were watching Michael Jordan Saturday night when you watched the Grizzlies game?
I'm in Norman, Oklahoma, asking if it's Central or Eastern Time.
Sometimes we just need to double check, Brett. It never hurts to ask.
I needed Saturday night at the room doing nothing. That's what I needed.
Yes, you needed some sleep is what you needed after a busy weekend. But it was a good weekend for Ole Miss. It was a good weekend for the Memphis Tigers. Some big wins for both those teams.
Brian, again, I'm locked in and I know nothing going on, just like last week. Mm-hmm. And the first time I see it, I go, well, look at there, Tiger win. As predicted by me during Friday football forecast, I said, let me make sure what I wrote. I said Tigers win 31-24. They win 34-31.
How about that?
First thing I saw was final score, and I swear I said, I'm not surprised.
No. It was a really fun game, and a game where the Tigers had to bounce back. Trailed early in that game, trailed at the half, and put together a really nice second half.
I knew none of that.
Yeah, I mean, how could you? You were busy with your own game, but I think we talked about it. I forgot. Was it maybe the Georgia Ole Miss game? Yeah, it was the Georgia Ole Miss game last week where we talked about a 17-0 fourth quarter. It's exactly what Memphis did against South Florida over the weekend. 17-0 fourth quarter to get that win that game. You had a extremely rare Grammatica missed field goal. I mean, I feel like the Grammatica family as a whole doesn't miss field goals, but they missed one on Saturday.
End of time stuff, isn't it?
It was weird. I felt like I was in a different universe.
How many more Grammaticas do we have to go to get to the end?
Hopefully not many.
It's like the kicking Carlsons at Auburn.
It really is.
They'll run one out there on you about ever. Nicole quits at Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's always a Grammatica somewhere. And ever since the start of history to the end of time, there will be a Grammatica kicking somewhere.
When I saw that score and then started reading up on it Saturday night and trying to figure out what happened and where I could somewhat talk about it, I just thought, sports, how crazy a ride can it take you on from what I a week ago described as the worst loss in program history to now I think you could make the case that is the best win of the Ryan Silverfield years.
Yeah, no, I think you definitely can make a case for it. I mean, it was massive. I mean, we talked all week last week. Backs against the walls. You got to have all of these games now, and of course you have to go up against a really good South Florida team with a really good defense and an electric quarterback, and they were able to get out there and get the win with a banged up Brendan Lewis, who got the reports came out just about an hour before kickoff that he was going to give it a go, that he was going to play.
Bucket of guts,
yeah, I mean, it really was. It was an impressive win. It was a fun atmosphere out there.
And it looked it, and now watching the highlights and trying to catch up on it after opposite of real time, it looked spectacular, and you're not ever going to change what happened last week at UAB. Now you just have to go forward, win out, and every hope and dream will come true. I do want to amend a little bit. I don't know now that if Boise won out, they would supplant the Tigers. I don't know that I believe that as much as I did last week.
No, I don't think so. I think the Tigers certainly helped themselves. Now, like you said, it's still a tough road the rest of the way. I mean, you still have some difficult games that you're going to have to win. It's not going to be easy, but
got to win them all.
This Tigers team showed Saturday that they are capable enough to go out and beat those teams. So it's going to be challenging, but they have certainly put themselves in a position where they have a shot.
Now, what was the controversy over the South Florida players and injury?
Yeah, I don't know. So I kind of became aware of all of that after the game because we were on the away side, and so a couple injuries go down, and then at one point player goes down, and so we're all kind of hanging out while the trainers and everything are out there, and he gets up, the player gets up, and Golish is out there. And from the other side, you kind of hear people start booing. Well, I wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone looking at scores and different things like that. So I looked up. All I saw was Alec Golish like throwing his hands in the air, like very frustrated, and that caused even more booing. And so I was very confused. A lot of people that I was sitting around were very confused about what was going on. And so from what I have gathered is Memphis fans thought, and I will say that people around me, Connor, I was with Connor, he made the point as well when it happened, so not accusing anybody, just saying what I was told from people that was around me. It seemed like every time Memphis got a first down, got some momentum, an injury would happen, whether it was a real injury or not a real injury. And so I think some fans started catching on to that of, this seems a little questionable. And so they took offense to it. Alex Golish obviously took offense to his players getting booed for being injured. He made those comments after the game. And that's where that came from. But during the game, I was super confused, super lost on why half the crowd was booing.
Well, they have policed that out of the game. And we know Ole Miss was the subject of a lot of point of emphasis around that. The one time this year that I think it's hurt Ole Miss to not use gamesmanship or whatever it is, I thought was last week at Georgia. That would have been a lot of times you'd had the kind of the sniper play.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and you talk about that new rule that they have in there where after the ball's placed, if you've got that guy that goes down, you either got to take a timeout or a 15-yard penalty, and so it's now kind of that weird spot where I know I was listening to the morning show this morning with Greg and Eli was talking about, I think maybe the A&M LSU game where he said there was a guy that very clearly got hit hard and was a little loopy in the head, maybe had a concussion, got up, tried to toughen through it. They had spotted the ball, and then he kind of went down. But Eli was saying you could clearly see watching the game that guy was injured. But because of the new rules, we
question everything.
Exactly. You have to take a timeout. It's not. You can't really have that judgment as a ref the way the rules are.
Better safe than sorry having to.
Yeah, it might be. So I don't. It's a shame that we've gotten to this point, but that's kind of where we are with college football right now.
But they have policed it. We talked about now that 3 losses in a row can get anybody in trouble. That's what got James Franklin in trouble. it was just 2 in a row for Brian Kelly.
Yeah, and that was
3 total, 2 in a row.
Yeah, it was a little surprising from yesterday and kind of the way that it went down, where it felt like maybe everything's gonna be fine, and then to where there's just kind of conversations happening, and then
not fine.
All out the exact opposite. But I mean, you go back to that game and just not competitive at all. I mean, Texas A&M went into Death Valley. We talk all the time about how challenging, how they love those night games, and they just did not look competitive at all. A&M went in there and just, I mean, dominated that game. And, I think LSU has seen that they've
especially
really...
the second half.
Oh, absolutely.
LSU led at halftime.
Yeah, but I mean, it was from there on out. I mean, it was over. I mean, they came out. It was almost like they came out of the locker room in the second half, and they were like, "All right, we already won the game. We don't have to play anymore." And they certainly showed it. And so I think LSU's looking at it and saying we've really struggled in these big games, getting wins. And so after maybe some spirited discussion, they said maybe it's time to move in a different direction.
Led by the governor.
Yeah, how about that?
Is that all he has to do?
Man, hey, you're the governor. You, I guess, swing a big stick.
I can only assume 8th grade reading levels are at 12th grade levels.
Yeah.
That math scores can knock everybody in the world out. That there's not a pothole in the state.
No, of course not.
The infant mortality is perfect. There's nothing going on. For him to take that big a role, I mean, who does he think he is, Huey Long?
I guess he thinks he's the.
And that was 100 years ago. Stuff.
I was about to say that was a reference right there. But I guess when you're the governor of Louisiana, you care a lot about.
It just means more.
LSU, it just means more. You pull the plug when you want to pull the plug, and so.
And 2 years in a row at Tiger Stadium, for the last 8 minutes of the game, a victory party for the opponent. Bama did it to them last year. They're kind of used to that.
Well,
but the Texas Aggies come in there, and let's give credit to them. We've always said we got to see it from them.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing it.
Yeah, no, they have been really impressive this year. And, kind of this Mike Elko, last year you saw him get in there and, it felt like a little bit of a culture shift. And now you're really seeing it
tough.
Go. They are very tough. And so now undefeated right now, coming off a massive win at LSU. We'll talk a lot more college football, a lot more SEC throughout today's shows. But before we do that, let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Jonah Dillon, the Tiger football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He'll join us. We'll talk about what happened Saturday morning when the Tigers beat USF to get back into the top 25. We'll talk about that game and now where the Tigers go from here. A Friday night game on the road against Rice. The Rice Owls, they're coming off a win of their own against UConn over the weekend. They were a 10.5-point underdog.
The mausoleum of sports, Rice Stadium.
Brett, a 10.5-point underdog. They get the outright win over UConn. Should have been my shock. I got to give all the credit because I was watching that game very closely, Brett, because our friend Bruce Marshall, before the season started, he told us about a little season win total that he really liked of over 3.5 for Rice. So, you like the over 3.5. Now they have 4 wins, and we cashed some tickets, Brett, so you got to love that. But the Tigers will be on the road against this Rice team Friday night, so we'll talk a lot about that with Jonah Dillon. 3:45, we'll talk the basketball side of things, talk this exhibition tonight, Memphis and Arkansas, the Hoops for St. Jude. 8 o'clock tonight at FedEx Forum. The women, they'll go before against Vanderbilt, so we'll talk a lot about this exhibition at 3:45. 4 o'clock, David Cobb from CBS Sports. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of college football with him, but we'll also get to some college basketball as we're just a week away from this time. We'll have finals in the book around college basketball. It's very early morning hoops Monday thanks to the Field of 68. So we'll talk a little bit of college basketball with David Cobb as well. 4:30, we are Sissy's Log Cabin. Look back at the weekend in the SEC. We'll look at all of these games from the weekend, including that A&M LSU game that we just talked about, the game that led to Brian Kelly's firing. We'll discuss all of them at 4:30. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He'll join us. We'll talk about the Grizzlies over the weekend. 1 loss, 1 win, and in that win, it was the Cedric Coward show, the 11th overall pick in last year's NBA draft. He shined Saturday night. Brett's pick for Rookie of the Year. Well, I guess
after the season started.
His changed pick the day after, I guess 2 days into the season. But we'll talk a lot of Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole. 5:30 will be our Monday Night Football pick and preview. We'll also get to our big four running backs for both teams all time. So 2 lists. 1 list for Kansas City, 4 Kansas City players, and 4 Washington players, all-time running backs. We'll get to those lists at 5:30. And then at 5:45, wrap up today's show like we always do with Mo's Crunch Time. Well, let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. It's the world's biggest spa sale going on right now at Family Leisure. Spa starting at $29.99, and swim spas now up to 30% off. The floor model specials, they're going on as well. And get yourself a new cold plunge. The cold plunge is starting at $49.99. Receive a free umbrella with purchase of select patio furniture sets. And it's the perfect time to head out there and purchase a swimming pool. I know it's starting to get a little cool. It's been rainy the last couple of days. But go ahead and get ahead of things and purchase that swimming pool. That's because the swimming pool clearance pricing goes on through the end of October. So only a couple more days to take advantage of those prices. Buy now and save on that upcoming price increase. Special financing, it's available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. Our producer is Landon Schmidt, and we are Sports Time, and we're with you until 6 o'clock. We want you to be a big part of our show by texting or calling the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line at 901-360-8255. All our guests will join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. 8255. We're always from our Family Leisure Studios. Get a head start on next summer right now at Family Leisure. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they want you to stop by at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500. And you'll be driving in style. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the Memphis win over South Florida. A 34 to 31 victory for the Tigers over the Bulls. It was a game where Memphis scored first, but then it was all USF really for the rest of the first half. They took a 10-point lead, a 24 to 14 lead going into half. But in the second half, this team that has shown time and time again this year that they are a second half team. They came out to play. We've talked so much this year about this team being a run first team, but South Florida very early showed that they were going to shut down the run. The Tigers able to run for 129 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, but it was a little bit of everybody going to that. The leading rusher for the Tigers, Brendan Lewis and Sutton Smith, who both had 35 yards on the afternoon. Greg DeWosier right behind them with 33 yards and a touchdown. Frank Peasant with 26 yards and a touchdown. So it was a lot of everybody on the ground, but through the air, Brendan Lewis was fantastic. 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 27 for 44. You had him connecting to some of his favorite receivers. Cortez Braham had 2 touchdowns in that game. Jamari Hawkins had 85 yards on 3 receptions, and then the defense stepped up in the second half. We mentioned it, 24 points in the second half, but in the first half. It was a different story in the second half. That defense came to play, came up with some big stops to keep this Tigers team in this game. Offense took advantage of it to get a much-needed, a must-have win over a ranked team. And now look what happens. After talking about the worst loss in maybe Tiger football history, you're right back into the top 25 and right back into that conversation for the college football playoffs. Now, you got to go out and do this every week. Now, you got to go out and continue to win. But with this win, the Tigers have put themselves right back in that good position.
They have. That's my top story. What a difference a week makes. After their worst loss in school history to a team that once gave itself the death penalty, Memphis wins a wild one, and now if they win out, they'll be firmly in the college football playoff bracket, and that will be with a loss to UAB. Ole Miss, after blowing a lead at Georgia, They tried to blow another lead at Oklahoma, but instead they came back and won. And now if they win out, they'll be firmly in the college football playoff bracket. November could be historic for both. It could be the Novembers to remember of all time. Coffee table books and everything that goes with it for Memphis and Ole Miss are the most epic heartbreak ever.
Yeah, you're right about that. We're going to learn a lot over this next month.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day is the exhibition tonight between Memphis and Arkansas, the Hoops for St. Jude. The Tigers women's team will go right before they'll take on Vanderbilt at 5:30, but the Tigers, they'll take on John Calipari and the Razorbacks. It'll be the second exhibition for the Razorbacks. They went out there on Friday at home against Cincinnati. So they'll play their second exhibition. It'll be the first for the Tigers, and we'll learn a lot about this team. We'll learn about these players. We'll look at these rotations. We'll see who runs out there as the starting five. But the big story is John Calipari returning to FedEx Forum. I believe about 30, maybe give or take a few more, maybe a few less of his former players that played for him at Memphis will be there tonight. They'll honor them right before the game gets started. So it should be a lot of fun, and we kind of talked about it all last week, the build up to this of what would the ticket sales look like, how many people would be there, and last week, based on what we had been hearing, based on what had been reporting, it didn't seem like it was going as well as people wanted it to go, but based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard, the excitement over the weekend and today, it looks like those sales have picked up. And looking at it, those lower bowl, that pinnacle level, it looks like it's going to be pretty full tonight. Now you're just talking about the terrace level up top, so hopefully it's a really good showing tonight.
Outstanding. That is great news for this Monday, so keep buying those tickets right up to tip time. My not top story of the day, Tigers and Razorbacks. For the second time in Memphis in a month and a half, this time basketball downtown at FedEx Forum for St. Jude. But unlike football on September 20th at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, that ended 32-31. This one tonight won't count, but let's see how much it matters. If it was next weekend in the regular season, we know it would matter, and maybe this will lead to being a regular season game. But buy those tickets, support St. Jude, and let's make sure this time next year it's about 2 weeks later and it's part of regular season.
Yeah, I hope so. That's the goal. Making this some sort of regular season MTE should be something that hopefully we get some news about in the next couple of months. We'll have to do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we return, we're talking Tiger football. Jonah Dillon, the Tiger football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, he joins us next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
The Drive into Fall event means it's time to save big at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pike. 2026 Jeep Compass Latitude $52.24 off MSRP, or 2025 Dodge Hornet GT $78.33 off MSRP, or both just $281.86 a month. 2025 Grand Cherokee 4-wheel drive $86.90 off MSRP, now $35,230. And 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 5.7 box rear-wheel drive $11,631 off MSRP, or $467.42 a month, plus 0% for 72 months available. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat, online GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
1500 SN 711 MSRP 50,710. Cherokee S871 5236 MSRP 43,920. Latitude TT 159,340 MSRP 32,815. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax island license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/30/2025 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawald Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawald is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis. Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Trying to build already through Midtown in a couple of spots. 240 southbound at South Parkway. Still moving south of Memphis right now as we check it out live on 55 going southbound here into South Haven. Watch your speed though down through certain parts of DeSoto County. Trying to build 240 east at Mill Branch all the way over to 385. Zips Car Wash is where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection right now at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We got to talk some Tiger football, and joining us to do that, like he does every Monday afternoon, Jonah Dillon from the Commercial Appeal. He joins us now. Jonah, thanks so much for joining us. There was a lot of talk last week. Would Brendan Lewis play? Would he not play? So much so that, and I wasn't in the stadium early enough to see this, but you tweeted out that on the starters intro on the Jumbotron, all three quarterbacks introduced themselves as the starting quarterback for the Memphis Tigers. Ultimately, it was Brendan Lewis who played, and he was really good. 35 yards on the ground, 307 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. It looked like a little early in that game. He was maybe a little hesitant to use his legs. I don't know if that was just him being hesitant, if that was something that the coaches wanted him to maybe use his legs less. What did you see, though, especially early from Brendan Lewis in that game?
Yeah, like you said, he definitely wasn't running as much in the first half. And look, because of that, not solely because of it, because of that, the offense was not as effective as we've seen it be throughout this season, because Brendan Lewis's running ability has been such a key to what Memphis has tried to do offensively throughout the entire year. And then you saw after halftime, I don't know what they've got in the locker room at halftime, maybe some medicine, as Seth Hennigan told us one time last year. He looked like a different player in the second half because he started running, and not only did that help Memphis move the ball, but it opened up a lot of stuff for Memphis to the pass game, because then you kind of got back to what you've seen from Memphis this year of the defense having to respect that, and that affects how you play defense and do a lot of different things. And then ultimately, he has a great game, career high, 307 pass yards, and Memphis needed all of it, especially through the air. This was the game. I think I talked about it with you guys in the preseason. There was going to be a game where Memphis had to throw the ball, and this was the game, and they were able to do it.
And Jonah, for him to play very, very injured, we hear so much about the modern player and the motivations for them and the checkout factor for some, and you worry about it after a loss. There were plenty of chances for him to legitimately maybe take a pass on playing for the rest of this season and for his whatever his football future looks like. For him to strap it up, it legendary performance. Again, I think the maiden run against Arkansas and the Lewis performance against South Florida, that should be canonized in Tiger football history.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be depending on how the rest of this season goes. But, yeah, I mean, you're talking about Brendan Lewis, somebody who's obviously his last year of college football, so he knows, every game he misses is he's not getting that back in the future. And the whole story with him, someone who's obviously played a lot of football but has not been on good teams and has not won a lot of football games. And so the opportunity to play in a game like that, especially when Memphis is still right in the thick of it for the playoff race, if they lost that game, that wouldn't have been the case anymore. And so it was such an important game. And like you said, it was really an amazing performance, especially in that second half.
Mm-hmm. A big talking point after the game was the injuries. I don't know if I need to use air quotes when I say injuries from USF. We were talking about it earlier. We've had a lot of people text in talking about the number of USF players that went down and then kind of popped back up or stayed on the field, went out for a play, and then right back in, kind of slowing down Memphis's momentum. I know that after the game, Alex Golish had some comments about it. I know you asked Ryan Silverfield about it earlier today. What did you make of that whole dynamic that kind of played out throughout the game against USF?
Yeah, I mean, I started to notice it obviously in the second half or whenever the injuries were piling up. I know fans are not, I just tweeted during the game, like, Memphis fans are not happy with the injuries, and I had South Florida fans complaining about Memphis fans, then Memphis fans complaining about saying the word injury, which is why you just can't tweet anything these days without somebody having a problem. But it was, it was a weird subplot. I understand that's the thing. It's obviously been a point of emphasis in college football this year, right? You saw with Texas A&M, I think it was a week ago or a couple weeks ago, getting fined for faking injuries, for having a player, in that case, a coach telling somebody to go down, stuff like that. There were a lot of injuries. There were some on offense, I will say. So I don't know what the point would be to do that. Obviously, some people could say, well, some of them were real, some of them were fake. I understand I understand why Memphis fans were getting upset about it as the game was going on. I also understand why, if you're Alex Golish, you're obviously always going to, support your team and defend your team. Sure. Ryan Silverfield didn't really want to wade into it today when I asked him. He just said he supports the fans, which obviously we know what the fans were doing. So maybe that was maybe we should read into that one even more. But weird one. I would expect this kind of thing to come up more, especially when you play teams that have a fast-paced offense like USF does. And like I said, it's already come up with some other schools this season.
That defensive performance in the second half, that one hangs at the Sports Louvre, doesn't it?
Yeah, really amazing, and I think got overlooked a little bit because people at halftime, I mean, I was, again, with people, how they talk about the game, I was getting replies at halftime saying, fire Jordan Hankins, Memphis defensive coordinator. And by the end of the game, it was, build this guy's statue. Like, that the turnaround, obviously, South Florida has that 73-yard touchdown run, which, and as Ryan Silverfield mentioned after the game, these long explosive plays have been a problem for Memphis for really the whole season, so that's something that they've got to work on. But if you take out that play, you're talking about a defensive performance where they just totally shut down an offense that we've seen dominate basically everybody they've played so far this season outside of Miami. And we saw how good Byron Brown was in the first half. I mean, that guy is just a heck of a football player. And we saw everything he could do, and Memphis shut him down in the second half. They shut down everything that South Florida was trying to do. And obviously they make the big plays down the stretch. Brendan Lewis has that big game. Cortez Braham comes up huge again. But the way Memphis' defense played in that second half, like you said, that's something that's going to stick for a while.
Did you ask various players or coaches or ancillary people around the program, when did they have UAB out of their system? When did they know, okay, I've got them back, I got a chance Saturday? Did you get a date, a time from last week?
Yeah, I mean, look, you never know. Every time I asked, the answer was, they took one day after the game and they went over the tape and then they moved on. Now, it's easier said than done, obviously, right? Because you hear people say that all the time. They came out and
I've never believed it. Do you?
Right. So, but at the same time, look, the way that they played on Saturday suggested that they had been able to move on, because certainly you could have seen a scenario where they came out flat and kind of doubting themselves because of what happened against UAB, and that ended up destroying the game. I think in the first half, the issues were they really couldn't get ahead of South Florida's offense, and Byron Brown was spectacular in the first half. And on the other side of the ball, Brendan Lewis, like we said, he wasn't running the ball really at all, and so that was hurting the way the offense wanted to operate. When they fixed those things, though, they turned it around, and so I don't think it was an effort thing or a mentality thing. It did seem like they came out with the right mentality from the get-go, and ultimately down the stretch, they made enough plays.
Mm-hmm. Jonah, what are you seeing right now with Sutton Smith? We've seen, and we kind of knew it was coming with these defenses. They look at Memphis and they see that they are really explosive and can really run the ball. But you look at Sutton Smith, and since that FAU game, 35 yards or less in each game, 10 or fewer carries each game. What are you seeing with Sutton Smith, especially after such a strong start to the season?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is obviously the return of Greg DeWosier, which means that there's less carries for Sutton Smith. Part of it, UAB, the game flow is kind of weird with the kick return, and then UAB having the ball for so much. I think people were unhappy that Sutton Smith didn't touch the ball in the first half, but Memphis only had so many snaps. I think there was like 4 run plays total. I think and then over the past 2 weeks, the other thing is they haven't run the ball great, which there's two sides to that. One, like I said earlier, they showed that they can win games by passing the ball, which was a huge question mark early in the season. And two, like you said, obviously other defenses, they're looking at Memphis running the ball and they're saying, we're going to try to stop this at all costs and make them beat us in the passing game. And then again, you got these 2 running backs who both want to get a lot of snaps and obviously are dynamic in their own ways. So I think there's a kind of conflation of factors there. Obviously, we know what he can do. We saw it with the kick return against UAB. He's still an explosive player. And I feel like there's going to be a game this season where he's going to pop again and be at that 100-yard type game.
Our guest is Jonah Dillon on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. He's from the Commercial Appeal, and he covers the Memphis Tigers football team, and he's with us every Monday at 3:30. Jonah, I saw you last Wednesday night when you were helping out on Grizzlies coverage on opening night, and I told you that I had just gotten the hide torn off me for saying it was the worst loss in school history. I'm not backing up from that. And I contend if they hadn't had that loss, they would be ranked this week in the AP around 14 or 15, take care of at Rice, and then when that first playoff committee poll comes out, that's going to be the only one that matters going forward, a week from tomorrow night, Tuesday night, November 4th, they would be around the 12 or 13 mark. My contention is without last week, the Tigers could finish out and be down there in those preferred seeding range and hosting a game. Okay, that didn't happen. Saturday did happen in the win against USF. Let's don't go back in Tiger football history. Let's just go since Jonah Dillon's been covering the team. Was Saturday the biggest win since you've been covering the team?
I was thinking about that. It's tough because it does feel like it's going to depend on what happens next. I think back, and this is my 3rd year on the beat, I think about the Iowa State game, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, just because of the performance. And, again, that was a team that was pretty good, the Iowa State team that they beat, and I didn't think necessarily played badly. I think about the Tulane game last year. Memphis played great. I think that Tulane team didn't have it that game, and that was not their best performance, but Memphis was really good that night. It does feel like the win over USF. Now, it wasn't as dominant a performance, and obviously you need to make a come-from-behind win in the fourth quarter, but it was the kind of win that could potentially reset this entire season, reset your program, because it was so important. If they had lost that game, we'd be having a conversation about the season being over right now. Mm-hmm. And now you're talking about a team that is right back in being considered potentially a favorite to win the conference and go to the college football playoff. And so those are the margins, and I think with that, I don't know, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment, but it feels like it's got to at least be up there. And probably for now it's got to be number one. It'll probably depend on what the fallout is and what happens next.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely got to be up there. All right, the Friday night game this week, back-to-back Friday night games the next 2 weeks, but what do you expect this week on the road against Rice?
Yeah, short week against the option-style offense. That's always fun. Coaches always love to do that. So Ryan Sporfield mentioned that, obviously, in his press conference today. Rice runs kind of a sort of similar to Navy, but even more so. You're seeing a lot of stuff out of the shotgun, but it is an option kind of offense. So it's one of those teams where if you let them hang around, they can do some stuff, and I would expect them to be able to move the ball early and stuff like that. The kind of offense, though, that if they go down, they're not going to come back and get you, right? They're not going to be able to get these long, explosive pass plays. I mean, obviously, now that I said that, they will, but that's not what you expect. So I think the kind of game where if Memphis can go in the first half and establish a lead, easier said than done. We haven't seen that a ton this season. You'd think Memphis would be able to win. I'm not going to say that any game is a definite Memphis win after we saw what happened against UAB, but this is the game remaining on this schedule. This is certainly the weakest team left on Memphis' schedule.
Yeah, this is the one you got to feel pretty good about, that the Tigers can go out there and get the job done. Well, Jonah, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll do it again next Monday.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jonah.
Thank you so much to Jonah Dillon and Friday night against the Rice Owls at a stadium that once hosted a Super Bowl between Minnesota and the Dolphins.
How about that?
Can you believe that?
This Friday, Memphis and Rice, just like a Super Bowl, Brett.
I told you one time, I was with a crew from Fayetteville. We went down to a game at Rice, and they practically came over and told us to quiet down.
Yeah,
we were making too much noise.
Yeah, you could maybe
Balls
see that
illegal.
on we maybe see that Friday night. I don't know, with the Memphis faithful out there.
Tiger fans take over Friday night in Houston. It's Chevy Truck Month. That means every new and pre-owned Silverado is right there at All-Star in Olive Branch. New 26 Silverados as low as 2.9 for 72 months. No payment till next year. New 26 Equinox as low as 1.9. No payment till next year. Your new 26 All-Star Chevy Silverado or Equinox can be payment-free through Christmas and the new year. Your good credit deserves it, and you'll get it at All-Star. Drew DePriest and his great team, I know they're ready for Friday night, and they're ready for tonight. Big Tiger supporters and fans, military and first responders, always an instant extra $500 bonus back. Teachers, first responders, you also get that $500 bonus. If you want certified barely driven Chevys, All-Star's the place to be. First thing tomorrow morning, go check out the Huge, and I'm talking big selection of certified Chevys and the very hottest pre-owned anywhere in our area, right there at Olive Branch at All-Star. And if you've got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star and Olive Branch, whether you bought it there or not, and get the most money back for it on your trade. Together, let's drive to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, right down Highway 78, first exit, Kraft Goodman Road. You're there. Don't miss the final Chevy Truck Month sale going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk some Memphis basketball. They're in action tonight. An exhibition game against Arkansas in the Hoops for St. Jude Classic. We'll talk about it more next on Sports Time.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family. Driven to keep you on the road.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
It's time to get your Volkswagen on at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. So fall on in and get some cool deals. Like 2025 Taos S, we Gossett $219 a month. If you love Volkswagen Jetta, then you'll love 2025 Jetta S. We Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, $228 a month. Plus 2026 Atlas SE, we Gossett just $299 a month. That's Taos S $219 a month, Jetta S $228 a month, and Atlas SE $299 a month. So come get your Volkswagen on today and get ready to ride with a great deal at Gossett Volkswagen 1875 Covington Pike, or shop online anytime at GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Volkswagen.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles, 25 cents excess mileage. Taos SMO 58885, MSRP 27011. Get a TM 005137, MSRP 25820. Atlas TC 515398, MSRP 41841. Includes all rebates and incentives. 895 PF excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Must finance through Volkswagen Financial Services. Valid through 10/31/25.
To NST, it's never just another case. It's your shot at getting life back on track. Real help, real heart. 35 years and still winning. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or go online at nstlaw.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, tonight, FedEx Forum will be jumping just a couple hours until the action gets started. The Memphis women's basketball team will take on Vanderbilt, and then after that, Memphis and Arkansas will take on the men's team. John Calipari will be back inside FedEx Forum against Penny Hardaway's squad, and should be a lot of fun tonight. Really excited to get down there and see what both these teams look like.
We have to learn the teams now. We have to learn them, sadly, in season as much as anything. Used to we would have a handle on everybody's roster. Now everybody's roster is very new on opening night from the year before, even how the tournament ended in the spring. All new for the Tigers, a lot of new for the Razorbacks, a lot of returnees for the Razorbacks. And I think an Arkansas team that preseason goal – at least as far as last year,
sure.
Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I think with
Sweet
what
16?
Yeah, I mean, I think with what they're bringing back, I was able to watch a good amount of the exhibition game they had against Cincinnati, and the fact that Trevin Brazile is still playing college basketball blew my mind. I mean, when I saw him run out there, I was like, this guy still has eligibility, but I guess so.
Wait till next week on that feeling.
Well, yeah,
that guy's there.
Yeah,
he's still here.
It's gonna be everywhere. But I mean, they bring back some good pieces from last year. They add a couple of McDonald's All-Americans to this roster. So yeah, I mean, I think the expectations, the goal should be to make a deep run in the tournament, and obviously it starts now with an exhibition game and trying to
really started with
figure out
for Arkansas.
Sure, yeah, against Cincinnati. And they looked good against Cincinnati. Sure did. And so I mean, it looks like they're working out some of those things, and it certainly helps when you've got Trevin Brazile, Carter Knox, DJ Wagner, those guys back, Billy Richmond, the third back. You're bringing back some key guys from last year's team and then adding some pieces. So yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty fun and should be a good Arkansas team.
Billy Richmond got better and better at every stage last year, and I think they're counting on him to be that real good wing defender and the guy that can be out on the wing on offense. That head fake and be at the rack in 2 steps. He really got better last year. For the Tigers, we're going to do W's and L's next week, not this Thursday, but the week after, because the Tigers don't start a week from today like everybody else. They don't start until they play the Dons of San Francisco on Saturday, November 8th. What a weekend that's going to be, Friday night against Tulane, and then the Tiger basketball season starting on Saturday afternoon against San Francisco. Not W's and L's, but just kind of big picture goals. So if Arkansas is at least as far as next year, what's Memphis?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to start with getting to the tournament. You were able to do that last year. I think most people have the Tigers, and pretty much everybody has the Tigers as the winners in the American. So I think it's got to start with making the tournament again, and then I think that could be maybe the floor, and then I think the ceiling, should it at least be trying to advance out of the first game. Yeah, I mean
a game.
Yeah, I mean
get a game. I don't think putting on Sweet 16 would be fair.
Absolutely not.
For the Tigers, and anything past that for Arkansas, I think they can go past that, but I don't think it would be fair because there's only a club of 6 or 8 that you annually think Final Four or bust for you.
Yeah, I mean, if that many.
If that many.
Yeah, I hate putting, really even Sweet 16 is a tough expectation to put on teams. But, so I think there's only a few teams that you can really have those expectations at the beginning of the season to make those really deep runs in March. And, we'll get a good idea tonight on what this Tigers team is looking like and kind of have a better idea of how we think the season's going to play out. But again, I said it earlier, I remember the big takeaway from this exact game last year against North Carolina was this Tiger team could not shoot. They could not shoot the ball at all. They go out there, and now they adjusted some things, and I thought that was one of the biggest things Penny Hardaway did last year was they didn't take a lot of threes, but they took them in key spots and made them, but they were top 10 all year last season in three-point percentage. So, I think you can learn some things from these exhibitions, but I also think this is a good learning moment for this coaching staff, for these players to go against another team and kind of see where you're at before the season starts.
Razorbacks basketball is really just the complete opposite right now of Razorback football.
Yeah.
You've got a solid legend of the game as head coach. You've got fully funded NIL. You've got passion and interest in building off of something from the year before. Razorback football had none of that.
No, yeah, I mean, we just talked about it. You have 2 McDonald's All-American 5-stars on this roster for basketball. How many top 30 guys do you have on that football team in the country? I would say, I don't have it in front of me, but I would say probably 0. And so, yeah, I mean, they're definitely a lot of momentum with this basketball team. And on the other side, you're getting ready for, I guess, already started a coaching search for the football team. So, yeah, I mean, complete different spots.
Well, they were out there, first in the SEC, and now a lot have joined them. I think it highlights the completely poor job Hunter Yurchek, close to incompetence, what he's done as athletics director at Arkansas when he didn't move away from Sam Pittman last year, and now he's let the entire market catch up to him.
Well, Brett, it's a great point because we were talking about that last year, and I think you could say that about there's a couple other coaches you could probably say that about. Florida, there was a lot of people towards the end of the season last year was like, okay, maybe you go ahead and pull the plug now. But certainly with Arkansas, we were kind of talking about, okay, you won a game or two
Florida
down the stretch.
had a little something to cling to down the stretch of last year. Arkansas had nothing but going to yet another Liberty Bowl to cling to.
They got bowl eligible, Brett. That was the big kicker. You get bowl eligible. What can you do next year? So yeah, I mean it was not a lot there, but for whatever reason, let's run it back, and we see now where they are. You fire your coach before the halfway point of the season. So yeah, it's a really bad spot this Arkansas football team is in, but should be a lot of fun tonight. Memphis and Arkansas, 8:00 tip. Tickets still available. It sounds like they've done a really nice job over the weekend selling tickets, getting people there, but let's get more people there. Go down and get the first look at this Memphis Tiger basketball team. Well, we need to get to another break, wrap up this first hour, and when we return, we're talking some college football, some college basketball. David Cobb from CBS Sports, he joins us next.
Ready to shine, Memphis? Drive clean all month long with unlimited wash plans at Club Car Wash. Stop by any 4 Club locations in Greater Memphis or visit clubcarwash.com today.
Club Car Wash. Join the club.
Hey, everybody out there. Walker Taylor with Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Football season is upon us. Nothing better for your next tailgate party than a barbecue buffet spread provided by the Germantown or Collierville Commissary. Catering, self-serve or full, is a specialty of ours. No party too small, no party too large. You can check out our pricing and the items we feature at commissarybbq.com. Holidays will be upon us soon. At our Collierville location, we have a party room for 30 up to 100, perfect for family, business, or church functions. We also have a patio at the Collierville location, perfect in the fall for enjoying football and eating barbecue. Monday through Friday at the Collierville location, we also offer an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring barbecue pulled pork, ribs, fried chicken, and catfish. Each location also offers a $10.95 lunch special, a sandwich, a side, and a drink. Please come visit us at the original in Germantown by the railroad tracks or our new location in Collierville at Houston Levy and Poplar. And as always, go Tigers go.
It's football time in Memphis and soon basketball. And we cannot forget soccer. I'm Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors, and you shouldn't forget real estate, as it's a year-round sport. I've sold homes on every major holiday, including Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Day. So don't think spring and summer are the only prime times to sell. What is more important is the prime agent you want representing you, me. With a highly successful strategic marketing program, people often say when you want the job done, call Sheldon. I may be the worst golfer in town and known as Mr. Three-Putt to my so-called friends. I am one tough dude when it comes to selling your home. During the upcoming sports seasons, interview 2 to 3 players, but definitely include me to lead your team. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Remember, Sheldon gets it done. Maybe not on the golf course, but I can sell your home. That's memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546, and go Tigers.
Gossett Hyundai on the Pike is relocated right down the street to 1956 Covington Pike while our new dealership gets a facelift. So come by and get relocation renovation specials. Gossett Hyundai on the Pike's got 2025 Hyundai Sonata, $293.67 a month. How about 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE? We Gossett $323.95 a month. And 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe SE? We Gossett $348.83 a month, or 1.99 for 60 months available. Plus America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Hyundai, 1956 Covington Pike, or shop online anytime at HyundaiGossett.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Sonata TA 527,988, MSRP 29,150. Tucson TH 629,951, MSRP 31,760. Santa Fe TH 153,662, MSRP 37,280. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Must finance through HMA. Not all customers will qualify.
Family Leisure doesn't do anything small. It's always got to be big, just like the world's biggest spa sale. Happening right now at Family Leisure. Check this out. You can get spas starting under $3,000. Spas and even swim spas, they're up to 30% off. Floor model spas have even bigger special prices. Cold plunges are all the trend right now. Take the plunge starting under $5,000. You see a patio furniture set you like? You could get a free umbrella with it. Ask an associate for details. Plus, swimming pools are clearance price now through the end of October. Get yours before the prices increase. That is with any big sale. Special financing, it's available. The only thing small during the world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure are the prices. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Heavier traffic volume here in the last few minutes, especially going outbound on Sam Cooper. Trying to get back up on the interstate. Still moving through the Midtown area right now, at least 240 southbound and South Parkway as it gets heavier south of Memphis on the interstate here. 55 down through DeSoto County. Hey, Zips Car Wash is where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says,
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Monday afternoon. And we got to talk about what happened over the weekend around college football. We'll get to some college basketball as well towards the end of this segment, but we got to go ahead and talk with David Cobb.
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sports Time is national college football writer for CBS Sports, Memphis native and Tennessee grad, who you can find on Twitter X at David W. Cobb. It's David Cobb.
David Cobb joins us now to talk college football and college basketball. He's from CBS Sports. David, another week and another head coach fired in college football. This weekend it was Brian Kelly. On the 1 to 10 David Cobb surprise scale, where did Brian Kelly being fired on October 26th land?
So if you'd asked me that prior to the season, I think it would have landed probably at about a 9 for him to get fired this early. But if you've really been watching LSU this season, the results have been really, really poor.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, going into yesterday, it was like, yeah, they've only lost 2 games though, and yeah, okay, but it's kind of like Texas. Like Texas is sitting there right now with 2 losses, but they look awful, and it's kind of it's been the same way with LSU all year. And when that's the case, maybe people on the outside are surprised, but people inside that program or inside that athletic department, the big money boosters, are watching a product that they do not like. And when you see James Franklin getting fired and Penn State ponying up a $40-something million buyout, and you start to wonder, well, geez, why can't we fire Brian Kelly? And so, just given how bad they were on Saturday in that second half, I'm not shocked. It was just the last piece of evidence that maybe you needed to realize, look, thank you, Brian Kelly, for giving us a Heisman Trophy winner and for being better than Ed Ogeron was in his last season, but very clearly you are not going to win a national championship here. And that second half on Saturday was all the evidence that you needed of that.
Somewhere Eddie O's got to be laughing. Yeah, they fired me too, but I did win them a national championship.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Because the last 3 coaches before Brian Kelly all did, including Ed Ogeron and Les Miles, for crying out loud. And if those guys can win national titles at LSU, you would have thought that surely Brian Kelly can. Surely. And no, he simply could not. He could never get the offense and the defense going at the same time, which, that's kind of an important deal to take care of if you want to win a national title. So he didn't do it, and now LSU is looking for a new coach.
All right, David, put your thinking cap on. Give me one national coach and give me one SEC coach that we don't see coming now, but that ugly 2-3 game losing streak could really get them in trouble before the rest of this year's over.
Oh, jeez.
I think Shane Beamer, man, he's got to be kind of in that conversation because this is a South Carolina team that entered the season with higher expectations than just about any time ever in program history. I mean, maybe you go back to Steve Spurrier's heyday there and you can find a season where they had similar sort of expectations. But when you bring back Dylan Stewart on the edge and Lenoris Sellers at quarterback and you're a top 15 team in the AP poll going into the year, your fans aren't going to be real happy when you're sitting there at 3-5. And so, it was a gut-wrenching loss to Alabama, and they really should have won that game. But woulda, coulda, shoulda doesn't get you much in the SEC, especially not when you've been at a place for, 5 years or however long Shane's been there now. So he's one to look at, especially because there could be a soft landing spot for him. With that Virginia Tech job being open, that's a place where his father was an absolute legend, and Shane's not a bad coach. He just might be somebody who needs a fresh start. So I'd absolutely be on the lookout for South Carolina, Shane Beamer. And then also it's another SEC one. But if Oklahoma really goes down the tubes here, what is Brent Venables hanging his hat on at this point to really show that he's the guy who's going to get it done at OU? And there's a chance with the schedule they face and with all the other jobs that are open right now that Oklahoma's boosters could get a little uneasy. Now, the trick there is that Joe Castiglione, the longtime athletic director, he's retiring. And so I think maybe that change in power could could ease the pressure a little bit on Venables. But I wouldn't put it past them to get a little restless there if this goes the way it seems to be going for OU.
Yeah, Oklahoma, that's mine in the SEC. They're really cutting out what we've known as the traditional athletics director having anything to do with football. Randall Stevenson, former AT&T head in Dallas, prominent OU booster, he's really in charge of the football program, and he's got Jimmy Nagy from the formerly of the Senior Bowl kind of running the football operations. The AD, all he does is do between quarter on-field presentations for the Jumbotron. They're running the football. That's my national. That's my SEC. My national, Mario Cristobal. Don't go out there and lose at SMU, to Syracuse, and NC State.
Well, yeah, I'd do it.
Yo, I don't think he will, but if he
I don't
did,
either.
and I wouldn't put it past him. But yeah, absolutely. You think about everything that it should be a slam dunk, no doubt about it, sort of ACC title season for Miami. When you look at where Clemson is, where Florida State is, SMU is down relative to last season. I mean, there's no competition in that league. I mean, Georgia Tech's been amazing, but Miami should win that league, and it really shouldn't even be close. And if something were to happen, and and they were really to stumble down the stretch, then I mean, sure, I could see that.
Yeah.
Are you braced for a college football playoff unveiling on Sunday morning, December 7th, that could have Georgia Tech, Memphis, Ole Miss, Indiana, and Vanderbilt on it?
I'm here for it. I think it's great. I think it's great for college football, and I love this 12-team format. I think it's the right number, and I hate that we're trying to already expand it and go to 16, and hadn't even really given 12 any room to breathe yet. And but it could be. I think it could be fantastic because it's going to get a wider swath of casual sports fans, who maybe have followed a team that's in their neighborhood or their geographic region. It's going to get them more heavily invested. And yeah, okay, maybe the TV ratings wouldn't be electric for some of those matchups if Indiana and Georgia Tech are playing, or Memphis and Ole Miss are playing. Okay, I don't care what the TV ratings are going to be. I care about the health of college football, and I think for college football to really be healthy long term, like, you need some of these more dot on the map type of locations to really care about it. It can't just be Texas, Ohio State, Florida, and the most of the SEC, most of the Big Ten, and a couple from other places. I mean, we got to have a wider representation than that in terms of competitive teams in college football, and I think we're starting to see that this year, and I think it's fun. I think it makes it interesting, and so I'd be okay with it. And all those teams you mentioned, I mean, I have a hard time saying any one of them don't deserve it. I mean, it's like you look at Memphis, and obviously the G5 school is always going to be under scrutiny, and they're always going to be the national pundits are just going to be waiting to pounce on that team, whoever it is, to play poorly in the CFP. But I'm still a fan of the whole idea that the best team from the G5 gets in. I think it's healthy for the sport, and I think it keeps a larger part of the college football landscape engaged. And so, I mean, I'm really fired up for what this playoff could be.
David, I'm with you. A lot of it, I'm with you. It's purely selfish. But let's be honest that if we weren't kind of this area, let's say that weekend it's Memphis and Ole Miss playing a game, and it's Vanderbilt and Indiana playing in one of those games. Somebody's going to walk by their TV and go, I didn't know the Micron PC Bowl was today.
I know it, but that's okay. That's okay. I mean, there's plenty of times during the NCAA men's basketball tournament where you don't even think about it because the game's on TNT, and maybe you don't even ever flip over to it. But you got Iowa State taking on Canisius in a first-round matchup that it happens on TNT, and we're all watching the Kansas game or whatever on CBS. But that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It just means it ends up being on TNT. And I'm kind of sick of looking. I realize this sounds crazy, right? Because I work for CBS and it's a television network. But I'm kind of sick of the influence that TV networks and TV conglomerates have on college sports, and especially on college football, where it feels like the entire landscape now is ESPN versus Fox, kind of. The SEC versus the Big Ten in some ways, and we're all sort of divided along the network lines almost. And it's, at some point we just got to look out for college football, and I think it's healthy for college football, for Vanderbilt to be good, for Indiana to be good. Now, is it going to stay that way
Texas
forever?
Tech?
I don't know, but it's more interesting to me anyway when you get some of these other teams in the mix.
And David, we're going to have people crack on that, write these big think pieces about it, and they were the same ones 4 years ago. I'm tired of Alabama and Clemson every year.
Great point.
No, exactly it. Yeah. But let them do it, man. For those who love college football, you're gonna watch it, you're gonna enjoy it, and you might actually along the way, you got to suffer through some lower TV ratings, okay, but then you pick up some more fans in the long run, and then you know what? Maybe it's good for some of these big name brands to kind of be on the outside looking in for a little bit. Maybe it would be okay if Texas, LSU, Florida, Penn State, more than that, all ended up on the out on the outside looking in at the playoffs. If Michigan ends up on the wrong side
Have fun at
of
the Poulan Bowl. Shreveport's not so bad this time of year.
Yeah, and actually gain some appreciation while you're there for when you do make the playoffs, because there's such a sense of entitlement right now among the big brand programs. And,
I spent a Christmas night at the Motor City Bowl in Detroit for Ole Miss and Marshall, and loved every second of it.
Yeah, and you do that a few times, and then it makes it, when you reach the mountaintop, you actually appreciate it instead of saying this is where we belong and this is where we have to be. No. You could be at the GMAC Bowl. I mean, you could be there. I don't even know. It's not even a GMAC Bowl anymore. But
prove that it didn't. We don't know that it didn't, Dave. We don't know that.
I know. But yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I love this, the way the season has shaped up, and it's think about it. It's late October, and we don't have any idea really what that playoff bracket is going to look like. You look at what's left on the table in the SEC. The SEC is so good this year, and I don't necessarily mean like, oh wow, it's definitely going to produce your national champion. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I just mean week in, week out. I mean, this past Saturday was just electric in terms of SEC games. Vanderbilt, Missouri was great. Texas, Mississippi State was great. Alabama, South Carolina was great. Texas A&M, LSU was good for a half. I mean, you just go on down the list, and it's week after week. This league is producing great games between really good teams, and and that makes it so fun. We're going into November here, and we don't have any idea, if we're being honest, who from this conference is going to make the playoff, and that just makes it must-watch theater pretty much every week.
Yeah,
David, the last 2 weekends, I had the pleasure and honor of being between the hedges at Georgia and at Norman to see Oklahoma play Ole Miss. When I was 10 years old, I would have crossed the Gobi Desert to do that.
No, without a doubt. It's pretty awesome. Especially you think about it like from the Ole Miss perspective. Like you don't just go now and wow, this is a nice college town, and it's cool that we got to go here.
Friday night's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you go and you expect to win now. I mean, it's just different, and it's exciting. So yeah, I've been to Norman. I've been between the hedges. I still got to get to Death Valley. I still got to get to Kyle Field. And oddly enough, I've never actually been to a game in Fayetteville. So I got a few of the Western frontiers still to cross off my list. But no, that's awesome, Brett, and I hope you enjoyed every minute of it. And watching Ole Miss again this past week, it just kind of made me chuckle, because you remember when we were in Lexington earlier this season, and we both were standing up stretching our legs at the end of the first quarter, and we walked past each other. And Austin Simmons was kind of struggling, and I one of us said, well, what do you know about Trinidad Chambliss? and at the time, neither one of us or nobody anywhere knew a whole lot about him. And yet here he is again at OU this past Saturday, just delivering another gem. It's just I think it's one of the coolest stories in college football.
Yeah, it really is. David, it was fun over the weekend watching the Tigers against South Florida. They get the win just a week after. Last week we were talking with you about maybe one of the worst losses in program history against UAB. They bounced back against a ranked USF team, and now they're back in the AP polls, now back prominently in these conversations for the Group of 5 spot. What did you make of what the Tigers did over the weekend?
Yeah, so I was kind of blown away, I would say, because I went back and was able to watch most of the game, but in real time I was live blogging Oklahoma Ole Miss, and so I would do the thing where during commercials I would go to my quad box and check in, and now I'm like, all right, they're losing 31-17. That's probably curtains, it's probably lights out. And then Ole Miss Oklahoma ended, and I flip over, and oh my gosh, Memphis is winning this game. How in the world did that happen? And so the offensive explosion in the fourth quarter was legendary. And, I mean, that victory, is that the biggest, most important win of Ryan Silverfield's tenure? Unless I'm forgetting one somewhere.
David,
I think it is, right?
I think it is. I said it an hour ago.
Right.
After that crushing defeat last week, he turns around and wins that. And now the Tigers are like some of these crazy Halloween movies that are on constantly. They're back from the dead.
I know, but the
reference.
crazy thing is, like, even after that, I get so nervous when I see at Rice on Friday. I realize it's Rice.
Well, that's the theme of these crazy movies. You know that don't go hide by the chainsaws.
Exactly, and Rice is in Texas. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm just saying.
Oh, wow.
You got to keep your head on a swivel,
on
man.
Halloween,
yeah. It's like,
the car never starts when you're trying to run from the guy with the big axe.
Of course not.
And yes, those will be the vibes on Halloween night in an empty stadium in Houston, Texas. Like, you just don't trust anyone anymore. Not after
and this is officially the week to hear Thriller on the radio station.
Of course. Great song.
Oh, I know. But Saturday it's up there. You think about this run of Memphis football, encompassing 3 head coaches now, going back to probably Fuente's second season when they started getting it going, or third season, whenever it was. This decade, 11, 12, whatever it is. Like, there's a short list of marquee moments, major wins. Most of those are the times when Memphis has defeated SEC opponents. This one is different because it was a team in your league, because now it's like, all right, we've kind of gotten used to beating the SEC teams. It's not even really a huge deal or as huge of a deal anymore. But we got to win our league. We have to win the American if we want to realize our complete aspirations. And there was no way to do that without beating South Florida. So, yeah, you still got some meat left on the bone here. There's no doubt about it. But you weren't even really going to have a shot unless you got it done there. And the way they got it done in the fourth quarter, and coming up with defensive stops, and just, your back's to the wall, and you find a way to win the game. I thought that was really special.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Talking to David Cobby, joins us every Monday. And David, next week when we talk to you, we will have college basketball finals in the book, which is hard to believe. But tonight, the Memphis Tigers take on Arkansas in an exhibition game, Hoops for St. Jude. I know a lot of people excited about it. What should people take away from these exhibition games? Because I have like a love-hate relationship with where these exhibition games in college basketball have gotten to. I love being able to watch a ton of them, but also a lot of these coaches are trying to work things out. They're trying to give their team different looks in these exhibition games while it being on television, and they know all the fan bases are going to overreact to everything that they see. What should Tiger fans take away from tonight against Arkansas?
Yeah, so when I watch the exhibition games, I try to have takeaways on individual players more so than on teams. If you're trying to judge a team based on the exhibition, I think that's a bit of a fool's errand, because you'll hear reports of these secret scrimmages where there's an outcome that looks just totally upside down, and then sure enough, you get 3 months into the season, and yeah, okay, this team lost in an exhibition or in a secret scrimmage, but they were playing funky rotations. They didn't have their whole offense installed. They were junking up their defenses to try and get some experience running different things. And so that's why you can't really make long-term assessments or predictions on a team's performance based on an exhibition. But you can look and see who looks good in the uniform and who produces, who looks comfortable out there. You can also get at least a little bit of a sense of what the hierarchy is going to be. For example, last night, Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament at Tennessee attempted to combine 40 shots between the two of them from the field. All right, kind of figured they would be the guys. Didn't realize, though, that it was going to be a Dalton Connect situation out here where, these are literally like your star players. So for Memphis, I do want to see, what does the hierarchy look like? Yeah. Is it Doug McDaniel and Aaron Bradshaw taking between 15 and 20 shots apiece, or is this going to be more of a by-committee approach where any guy can get to double figures on a given night? That would be something you can maybe take away from tonight. But I think
has Barnes been released from the hospital after having the stroke, seeing that many shots go up?
Oh, I know. Oh, gosh, he had to be sick, too, seeing Duke get as many rebounds as it did, and defensively, But yeah, they were saying Tennessee's going to play with a faster tempo. That's the other thing too. Is with how limited preseason access is now, you can actually pick some things up on the broadcast because if, let's say, Cal and Penny are forthcoming in the production meetings with the play-by-play guy and the color analyst, well, listen, keep the sound on. They might actually share some insights about what they learned about these teams. So when you got totally new rosters every year, that can actually be beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I took anything away from last night, I think a lot of opposing teams and coaches are going to have nightmares about Cam Boozer throughout the season. He is incredible.
The top end of this freshman class in college basketball it's really good. I was in person on Friday night at Louisville to see Darren Peterson for Kansas, and he just lit Louisville up. So he's the number one overall prospect according to 24/7. And you got Cam Boozer, who's been amazing in these exhibitions. AJ DeBanza at BYU has been fantastic. And I'm just saying, if you're the Memphis Grizzlies, it's not a bad year to have a lottery pick. So that is a very attractive, interesting thing about, because they could get this Suns pick or whatever, depending on how things play out. So I think this is a pretty good draft class.
Yeah, and Brett already crowned Coward as the next Michael Jordan. So pair one of these young guys with the reincarnation of Michael Jordan.
Where's
even
23?
Though he's
Prove
not
me
dead.
wrong.
Exactly. So
Cedric Coward might go the rest of his career without going 6 of 6 from 3-point range.
Nuts.
And he, but that was sweet. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I just say they could get a little. Everybody's saying they lost the offseason because they traded away Desmond Bane, but I look out there and I see a team with a little bit more length, a little bit more athleticism, and neither one of those are a bad thing. So I'm cautiously optimistic.
David, when league-wide they retire 23 for Michael Jordan, just like when baseball did it league-wide 42 for Jackie Robinson, you still had the Yankees with Mariano Rivera, and you still had the Cardinals with Bruce Sutter at 42.
That's right.
We'll still have Cedric
That's
Coward
exactly
at 23.
right.
Yeah, he'll play in the league for 15 years and be the last guy to wear number 23. I love it.
Right. And he'll still be in a Grizzly uniform. How about that? Well,
hope so.
That's right. David, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your week, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David Cobb, with us every Monday. And everybody getting ready to go downtown. Before you head downtown, you've got to get you something to eat. We got plenty of great locations for you to stop at any one of these. Jason's Deli, like the one over across from MUS at Park Place on Ridgeway, by the University of Memphis, at Poplar and Highland, down in Olive Branch, out in Cordova, and it is healthy. It is the first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. They were on the healthy kick long before it got cool. Jason's Deli, all about choice, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own, you will be delighted at Jason's Deli. All the great locations and plenty of organic food to choose from. And in every location, that great salad bar, over 30 items for you to prepare it however you would like. For any catering need this week, for all the Halloween festivals and parties and get-togethers that we all are going to have this week, really starting the holiday season. I like to call it eating season. It starts at Jason's Deli, whether you're dining in, getting it to go, or getting it delivered. 5 or 5,000 catering, they have it handled for you. When you don't think you have your event planned just right, step aside, let them step in, and they will take care of it for you. Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli in all these locations, at Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova, and in all those locations, the complimentary free ice cream. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, we need to grab another break, and when we return, it'll be time for our Sissy's Log Cabin look back at the weekend in the SEC.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code HERD. That's promo code HERD. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass plus $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Let's try to move it a little bit better from that wreck we had earlier on Bill Morris Parkway there eastbound. It's going outbound on Bill Morris right at Hickory Hill. Again, that was slowing down that traffic trying to get off 240 onto Bill Morris Parkway headed out towards Collierville. A little bit slower out through there already with some earlier problems as traffic gets heavier here I-40 at Chelsea through the Midtown area. Weimer's Jewelry is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store. Stop by and see David and his family at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time for a look back at the weekend in the SEC. Brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies with 9,000 square foot in Laurelwood. Let's go inside the SEC with Bryant and Brett.
Chad Kelly in the gun formation. 3rd and inches for Ole Miss.
Carlton will kick it. It is on the way, and it is up.
Buck Bellew looking at it, going to pitch it to Herschel Walker, try to get him outside. He's going to get 5.
The snap is high. Kelly grabs it, wants to throw, fires it up in the air. Treadwell can't get it.
It is good! Oh, my!
Get a deflection is caught. Deflection is caught. And down the sidelines is Adebayo. He's to the end zone. He's in there. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
He's got 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He needs a block. There goes Herschel. There goes Herschel.
And you can wrap this one in maroon and white, my friends.
Arkansas is headed to Atlanta. The national champion is clad in big orange.
I hope the Razorback fans that are in town for the exhibition tonight, they hear and appreciate just how great Paul Eels was.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's I love that we get it every single Monday in this segment.
I love it every single Monday. It started early Saturday morning for me and for Ole Miss and for Oklahoma. Ole Miss, they win 34-26 in Norman at historic Memorial Stadium. Led by 12, then fell behind by 1, came back to win by 8 against the best defense I think Ole Miss has played against all season long. Trinidad Chambliss in the Heisman Trophy mix with 315 yards passing for a touchdown, 53 yards rushing, and 0 turnovers. 87 offensive plays, and he didn't turn it over. OU outrushed Ole Miss, but they had 1 turnover, and it was big when Trace Bucklers dislodged the ball on the punt. That was really the game-sealing play for Ole Miss. 8 penalties also cost Oklahoma this week. Ole Miss at home against South Carolina Saturday night at 6 o'clock, and OU at Tennessee.
Yeah, it was a theme for a couple games that we're about to talk about, but teams trailing going into the fourth quarter, and Ole Miss was in that. They were down going into the fourth quarter, and then a 9-0 fourth quarter for the Rebels got them the big win. You mentioned Trinidad Chambliss. You mentioned this defense for Oklahoma. We know if Oklahoma does one thing, it's that they get active defensively, and so really impressed what Trinidad Chambliss was able to do with those 315 yards. 1 passing touchdown. Jean Mateer was good, but it came down to those turnovers. No, you can very clearly see that he's not healthy. He's trying to kind of push his way through, but it was Ole Miss that got it done at the end on Saturday.
Auburn wins 33-24 over the Razorbacks in Fayetteville. Rayshawn Pleasant's pick 6 late sealed it for Hugh Freeze to win in Fayetteville. He's 2-0 at Auburn at Fayetteville. He was 1-0 at Liberty. He was 0-2 at Ole Miss in the Ozarks. Ashton Daniels came in relief, gave the Plainsmen a lift, 230 yards rushing to only 63 for Arkansas. 3 Taylon Green interceptions. Arkansas home against Mississippi State. Auburn home against Kentucky.
Yeah, here's another game that the winning team trailed in the fourth quarter. Auburn down going into the fourth. And then, again, a game that came down to the turnovers. You mentioned those 3 interceptions from Taylon Green. Taylon Green's been the bright spot for this Arkansas team most of the way.
I think he's regressed.
Yeah, I think you brought that up a couple weeks ago, and I've been keeping a close eye on that, and I think you're right there. But you talk about the running game for Auburn, and it was a lot of Jeremiah Cobb, 153 yards for him. Really impressive performance. And you talk about that defense for Auburn, especially late in the game. Came up with some big stops. We talked about those turnovers.
Hugh Freeze, noted defensive coach.
That's right. And Hugh Freeze, a guy that I'm sure let out a sigh of relief after that one, because it would have gotten really ugly if they had lost that game against Arkansas.
Vandy 17-10. They host game day. They win the game over Mizzou. That's what makes it more fun. Best start since 1941. Look out, Pearl Harbor. We know what happened in December of 41. Bear Bryant was offensive line coach for Vanderbilt in 1941. Bo Pribula injured for Mizzou. Diego Pavia was just good. They just got the win Saturday, but sometimes that's enough in a historic year. Mizzou open, Vandy at Texas.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what this year has been, or what at some times Vanderbilt needed it on Saturday. Just go out there and just win the game. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Just go out there and win. And this came down to, I thought we were going to get overtime. Missouri has that last second heave at the end of the game. They complete the pass, but they call them down at the 1 yard line. So ball game over. Vanderbilt wins, and really impressive. But it was really cool all day. Vanderbilt hosting game day. They had a handful of people that knocked down field goals during game day. They had the one student that was actually on the show. I heard some other students were jumping the fences, just knocking down field goals throughout the broadcast. So yeah, well, the team was out there giving lessons throughout the week. They were making sure somebody was going home with that money. So it was a good day all around in Nashville.
I think McAfee and Herbstreit can afford it.
I think so.
Bama 29-22 at South Carolina. Who expected it to be this close? Bama at the end, well, they were Bama. And at the end, South Carolina was South Carolina. Jeremy Bernard's 2 touchdowns late. In the last 2.5 minutes, South Carolina gift wrapped it. 253 for Ty Simpson with 2 touchdowns. 0 interceptions on the road. 20 touchdowns for the year. Only 1 interception for the year. That's why he's leading in the Heisman. Lenora Sellers, best game of the year. South Carolina outrushed Bama. Bama can't outrush anybody. Bama opened 8, South Carolina in Oxford.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it with Pat Smith the last couple of weeks about it. Kind of felt like Jam Miller was starting to get it going in the run game, but didn't get anything going against South Carolina. Only 26 yards for him on 10 carries. But you're right, this team, it goes the way Ty Simpson goes. He is in the Heisman conversation for a reason. Looked good again on Saturday, and this was a weird one. We've talked about Alabama looking much better this season, so I think a lot of people, even though this was at South Carolina, expected Alabama to go in there and win this easily, and it was far from an easy win. Another team where they trailed going into the fourth quarter, they ultimately get the win. So, weird one for Alabama.
Texas wins 45-38 in overtime. 2 weeks in a row on the road in overtime. That's impressive. It could be the start of something or the last great moment of the year. They did it against Mississippi State on Saturday after State had really outplayed them most of the day. Arch's best game of the year so far, but he did take a big hit late and had to come out and is listed as injured. 4 touchdowns for Blake Shapen, but a rugged loss for Jeff Lebby. And the Bullies this week stayed in Fayetteville against the Razorbacks and Texas at home against Vanderbilt in a matchup of budget disparity of all time.
It really is. But this really was, for both teams, for Texas, kind of what end of fate are you going to fall on? Back-to-back overtime games. You get the win in both of them, but very easily, like you said, you could go back and make those 2 losses. For Mississippi State, chalk this up as another game at home where you feel really good. You're going to get the upset. You're going to get the win, and then just can't finish the game out. But this Mississippi State team, they are fun to watch. They are certainly improved from last year, and Blake Shapen, a big reason why he was huge on Saturday.
A&M sawing them off and taking over Tiger Stadium, and the Aggie War theme just playing endlessly into the night. 49-25 for the Texas Aggies. They emptied Tiger Stadium and sent BK packing. 224-60 in rushing, 60 yards rushing for LSU. 7 of 10 on third down for Texas A&M. 2 throwing, 2 rushing for Marcel Reed. LSU led at halftime. And the biggest quitter locker room when things don't go well, it took over at LSU. They're great when they're on top. They'll pack it in faster than anybody when it's not going their way.
Yeah, and it's kind of been the story of the season for LSU. They just cannot run the ball. 60 yards as a team. Leading rusher had 59. Garrett Nussmeier with negative 44 rushing yards and just under pressure all night from that Texas A&M defense. And on the other side, the offense got it going, 224 yards on the ground. A very easy win, especially in that second half. Like you said, just night and day difference from first half to second half. And a lot of changes coming to LSU now.
Tennessee, 56, as in sports 56 to 34 over Kentucky. 330 rushing. 330 passing, 146 yards rushing. Aguiar, great again, 3 touchdowns. Is Tennessee out of the playoff picture? Or two lost teams out of the playoff picture? Star Thomas, 64 yards rushing for Tennessee, and it is straight ahead for him. I like how he runs. Tennessee pounds Big Blue Nation again. 2 Kentucky turnovers, zip for Tennessee, and another Tennessee win in that series.
Yeah, Tennessee jumped out to a big 21-7 lead in the first quarter and never looked back. This was very easy, and Joey Aguiar, a guy that we didn't know much about going into the season, he has really put the league on notice as having a really nice season, and another really impressive game from him.
All right, Bryant, real quick,
All
and
right.
Landon, y'all put your thinking caps on.
Oh,
Get
geez.
a pen.
All
Be
right.
ready
Give
for
me a
this.
second.
We got some blind resume. I'm going to give you numbers for A,
Okay.
B, and C.
Oh, wow.
No names.
3. Okay.
Here's 3. Quarterback A, 15 touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
5 interceptions, 1698 passing, 458 rushing, 5 touchdowns.
Okay.
Quarterback B, 9 touchdowns passing, 1 interception, 1804 in passing yards, 376 in rushing yards, 5 touchdowns rushing.
Okay.
Quarterback C, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 1972 passing yards, 349 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. Tell me who of those 3 should win the Heisman.
Holy cow.
A, B, and C. A, 15 and 5 passing, 1698. 458 rushing, 5 touchdowns. B, 9 and 1 touchdowns to interceptions, 1804 yards, 376 rushing, 5 touchdowns. C, 17 and 6 touchdowns to interceptions, 1972 rushing, 1972 passing, 349 rushing, 6 touchdowns. If you had to pick of those 3 to win the Heisman,
This
who would
is
win?
tough. C, I don't know. It's
Try
difficult.
to guess who A, B, and C are in the SEC.
They're all SEC quarterbacks?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, I have no idea.
A is Diego Pavia.
I was going to guess that.
Okay.
Okay.
I think he's just been good.
Yeah, no, he absolutely has just. When you look,
incredible story.
And that's the thing. I've seen a lot of people wanting to, I guess not nitpicking, but they want to point out the numbers. You look at his numbers; he's just been an okay quarterback. You look at the
There they
difference that he makes for that Vanderbilt team. I
And
mean,
where
it's-
they would be?
Yeah, it's
Right.
not even a conversation.
All right. Example B, 9 and 1, 1864, 376 and 5. That's Trinidad Chambliss.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
C, 17 and 6, 6 rushing, 349 rushing, 1972 passing, is Marcel Reed.
Oh wow.
He's undefeated.
Interesting. Yeah. See, when you were throwing those numbers out, I was like, what
It
starting?
was a lot of numbers and real quick. I
It
know.
was, but I was like, what starting quarterback in the SEC has thrown for like
And
few,
here's
that
the
few
trick
of
part of the
touchdowns?
question. None of them are winning it.
No.
Here's who's winning it. 20 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2184 yards, only 79 yards rushing, but 2 touchdowns. That's Ty Simpson.
Yeah, I was waiting for the 1 interception. I knew I'd be able to nail that one
That's it.
whenever we
if
got
I'd have
to
thrown
that.
that in there, you would have known who it was.
I would have known. That was the one I would have been able to nail. The other ones, I had no clue. But hey, those are 4 quarterbacks that are certainly making a difference for their team, and I don't know where their team would be without them right now. So
That's our look. That's our look back at the weekend in the SEC, brought to you every Monday at 4:30 by Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler for the Memphis Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum with the Floor Seat Lounge. That great location at 4542 Poplar, 9,000 square foot at Laurelwood, with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun 2770 Witten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Hey everybody, it's Chevy Truck Month, which means every new and pre-owned Silverado you want is right here in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. New 26 Silverados as low as 2.9 for 72 months and no payment till next year. New 26 Equinox as low as 1.9 and no payment till next year. Yes, your new 26 All-Star Chevy Silverado or Equinox can be payment-free through Christmas and New Year's, and your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. And if you want a certified barely driven Chevy, All-Star is spot on. Come check out this huge, and I'm talking huge, selection of certified Chevys and the hottest pre-owned vehicles. It's all right here in Olive Branch at All-Star. And if you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the final Chevy Truck Month sale going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Life's too short to blend in, so embrace your extraordinary style today at Sissy's Log Cabin. From everyday pieces to statement jewelry, you'll find something here for every occasion. Celebrate with exquisite quality, brilliant natural diamonds, and unmatched service you'll only find at Sissy's when you stop by any of our 7 locations or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com. You deserve the style of your dreams, and you'll find it at Sissy's Log Cabin.
Mike Golick Jr. here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up, the now 4-3 Chiefs play host to the 3-4 Commanders. Kansas City's won 2 straight, including a blowout of the Raiders last week. For Washington, injuries have played a role in their 2-game slide. Join my dad and I for the pregame. Then Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner have the call on Monday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
All right, gentlemen. This is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable. And one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000. Sold in Mississippi.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers, Ford, and Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
When you hear the sound coming.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I have 2 big numbers today, and the first one, I really just got to get it off my chest. It's something that's really been bothering me over the last couple of weeks, and so I'm going to use this kind of as like my therapy session, just for a couple minutes to get it off my chest, and then we'll move to my real big number of the day. So my first big number is the number 7. I just learned this. The TV we have in here is on ESPN, and they pointed it out. The Utah Mammoth, who are in their first season as being called the Mammoth, they are 7-0 since they revealed their mascot to the world. Brett, are you familiar with the name of the Utah Mammoth mascot?
Yeah, you told me this, and would you believe Landon and I were talking about this before the show?
Really?
We
sure were.
That Utah's in first place.
Holy cow, they are. They're playing good puck. I don't know, not good ball, but I don't know.
It was the first time
Good
I
ice.
looked at the hockey standings since hockey
there you
started.
go. There you go. Well, it's a good way to look at it. Well, their mascot name is Tusky. Now, let me tell you something, Brett. How lazy of a name. You're the Utah Mammoth, and you name your mascot Tusky.
Well, the live Razorback is named Tusk.
Well, Tusk is a little better than Tusky. Someone looked at it and goes, well, mammoths have Tusk. You had a Y to it. It's a name. It's lazy. Give me a break. That's why I had to get off my chest.
Maybe some copyright infringement there by Utah with the Razorbacks.
Could be. Maybe something we need to look at. That'd make me
Sit
happy.
the lawyers on.
I'll find someone tonight at FedEx Forum, and I'll ask them about the whole, do we have a copyright claim against the Utah Mammoth? Something that just bothered me. I mean, lazy names. Give me a break. Nothing like Bowie, right, for the Kraken. I mean, that's just such an original name. All right, on to my real big number today. This comes from last night's Sunday night football game. A Sunday night football game that I did not expect we would see play out like that. And it comes from the quarterback, Jordan Love. We'll go with the number 3. Jordan Love last night completed 20 or more consecutive passes, threw for more than 350 yards, threw 3 or more touchdown passes, had 0 turnovers, and took 0 sacks. No other quarterback in NFL history has done all of that in the same game. Jordan Love did all of those things last night in Sunday Night Football in a win over his former teammate. I don't know if I'd call him mentor. His former teammate, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Rodgers never spoke to him.
No. So that's why we
treated
just call
him just
him
like Brett
teammate.
Favre treated him.
That's right. You pass it down from one to the other.
And the Packers have now gotten it 2 times in a row right. They were right to move on from Favre to Rodgers, and they were right to move on to Love from Rodgers.
That's exactly right. Yeah, no, they have nailed it. As much as I love Aaron Rodgers, it was time to move on, and Jordan Love has been everything that was advertised. He's been really good.
My big number is 22. There have been 22 meetings all time between Memphis and Arkansas in basketball. This one tonight won't count toward it. It will not go to a win or to a loss. 11-11 in the 22 meetings. 2 years ago in the Bahamas, it counted for Memphis. They won. Before that, January 2003, Memphis won that one. They first met in 1966 in a game that probably shouldn't have counted and probably set basketball back to prehistoric eras. Final score, Memphis 43, Arkansas 36, and that was at the Coliseum, the 2 or 3 year old Mid-South Coliseum.
Wow.
2 names from in infamy coaching that night. For Arkansas, Duddy Waller, and for Memphis, Mo Iba. Any Duddy Waller and Mo Iba reference, run for your lives.
Yeah, those are 2 that a lot of people would run from. That's crazy. That's a score right there. I love
Duddy Waller was so bad at Arkansas. A friend of mine told me that a pickup group of football players could beat the basketball team in a pickup game.
Oh yeah, it's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. So, Brett, you're telling me that if Memphis wins the exhibition tonight, we can't come in here tomorrow and pull an Auburn and claim victory, all-time victory over the Razorbacks?
I don't think you should, but now everybody's just claiming everything.
That's right, yeah. I mean, before too much longer, one of these exhibition games they're going to claim as a win on the season.
Arkansas claims a football win against Ole Miss that they lost on the field.
Well, yeah, we're getting a little too far gone with these claiming games
and worse than that, the SEC recognizes Arkansas's count by it, and they've done it since Arkansas came into the league.
Really?
And I was talking to an SEC official Saturday, and I'm serious. I go, okay, we've counted it for about 33 years now. The way Arkansas scores it, isn't it time to count it the Ole Miss way?
Should we trade off and maybe
and actually won on the field?
That's crazy! Wow, I did not know that.
But it was so long ago. Who cares? Cares enough for them to fib about it.
Yeah, no, that's right. Wow, that's insane. I did not know that. But hey, I guess
Hunter Yurchek's got bigger issues than counting a game from 1914.
But gives me even more fuel to claim a win tomorrow.
Might as well.
If the Tigers win. Might as well. Comes from the guy that was just talking about how much he does not take anything away from these exhibition games.
But the winner tonight, the fans both will claim we won.
Absolutely. And for Tiger fans, you get a win tonight. You wins over in
Sweep.
basketball and football. Yeah, sweep. So that'll feel really good. So yeah.
And I hope the air conditioning, and it always is just right at FedEx Forum. Because remember, Arkansas whined about it being too hot at the football game.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, it was the weather that played the big role. It was way too hot out there. Don't really understand that one, but hey, I guess that's where we're at. But let's go ahead and wrap up this second hour, get to another break, and when we return, we're talking the Grizzlies. DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He joins us next on Sports Time.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
NST's been taking down insurance giants for over 35 years. Big firm power with hometown heart? Yeah, they don't play. It's that combination that has helped them win billions for their clients. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
It's time to get your new ride, and Gossett Hyundai South is the place to get your Hyundai on. Come check out our new showroom with less wait for service and get great deals like 2025 Hyundai Elantra SE, fresh, edgy design, 41 MPG Highway, $287.56 a month. How about 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE SUV, comfort, safety, and tech, $323.95 a month, and 3-row SUV Santa Fe SE, $348.83 a month. 29 MPG Highway, or get 1.99 for 60 months available. And they all come with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Hyundai South, 2660 Mount Moriah, or online, HyundaiMountMoriah.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
Elantra SU 053407, MSRP 24430, Tucson TH 629951, MSRP 31760, Santa Fe TH 153662, MSRP 37280, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Must finance through HMA. Not all customers will qualify.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A bit more traffic volume out of Midtown just in the last few minutes. 240 South at South Parkway starting to increase with that volume on 240 East here at Mill Branch. Trying to work your way out to 385 Billmores Parkway. So far, so good. As you go outbound there on 385. Hey, Zips Car Wash is where I go. And so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out online at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Monday afternoon. And we got to talk some Grizzlies. Joining us to do that, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, DeMichael Cole, joins us now. DeMichael, we've had 3 games played since the last time we talked with you. The Grizzlies 2-1 right now. They've got the game that I'm sure we'll talk about here in a little bit against Golden State. But what have you made so far of the start of the season through 3 games?
Solid, guys. It's solid. You had a very embarrassing loss, but, I think it ended up being a perfect situation where it was the first leg of a back-to-back. So the good thing was you didn't have to, dwell on it for a full day and a half or so. It was like 15 hours later, they were pretty much back on the floor. And, it worked out. And it ended up being a really big game for the rookie. And I know that puts a lot of, that kind of just put people at ease for a little bit. So, I said that it would be best if they could get out to a 3-0 start, considering what's coming. But you'll take 2-1. Because, as we've talked about, in the past, like you just want to be relevant into those guys, specifically Zach Edey gets back.
Mm-hmm. And DeMichael, you were there for all 3, and I was just there opening night, but I tried to keep up with Friday and Saturday night's game. The energy in the building on opening night, you could really feel it. I said on Thursday, and I try not to be too heated at the moment. That was just one of the great opening nights. Having Zion in there, it was almost too script. He was good, but the Grizzlies won.
Man, Brett, I was talking to people. I'm like, man, it was electric in here. Like, I was, I had friends that sit all over the place. From near the courtside area to the plaza, all the way up to the pinnacle and terrace levels, and they all were saying how. The seats around them you were energetic. It was people pretty much all, sometimes you go to certain games, it's like big chunks of like open seats or whatnot. But opening night, I mean, it was packed in there, and it was a good, shout out to the Grizzlies entertainment staff too. They put together a nice event, and it made it worthwhile with the Grizzlies getting the win. I know a lot of people enjoyed themselves.
Mm-hmm. John Morant was big in that first game and had some huge buckets towards the end, going to those 35 points. And one of the big things he said before the season was one of his goals for the year was to play all 82. And you saw him get a little banged up. He was on the injury report going into Game 2 against Miami, but he was out there for that one, and then out there Game 3 as well against the Pacers. What have you made of John Morant to start the season?
It's been solid, and what I saw in that first game was what I needed to see, and to me it was the fact that Ja has to realize and understand that a lot is on him right now. A lot is on Ja Morant from the perspective of they got so many guys out. He's one of the few guys who can create for himself, and the Grizzlies needed that. Like we saw it in the best case scenario when they won the first game. Then we saw the worst-case scenario of it when, a team in a way held Josh, I believe, 4 of 15, 4 of 16 shooting, and they just don't have, the multitude of guys to create their own shots and create for others when, Ja isn't, quote-unquote, at his best, so to speak. So, I think he has that understanding of what's needed from him, and that's all I wanted to see coming into the season, because you're going to see that ultra-aggressive, energetic version of him. And I think it'll carry over, into this game. Like, he'll continue to, press the issue a little bit, I believe. But, I think Josh had a solid start, all things considered, given that he missed the preseason.
DeMichael, who's been not so good that needs to be a lot better, and who's been pretty good that needs to be a little better than after these first 3 games?
Santi Aldama needs to be a lot better.
Had a big block in Game 1. Had a defensive play.
He did. And when I say Santi needs to be a lot better, if he was a rookie or a second-year guy, the way he's played would be very acceptable, right? Like you just mentioned, he he was impressive to me from the regard, not just he scored 5 points in game one, but they threw him in at the 5. Keep in mind, like, we've talked about the idea of Santi playing the 5 more, but the Grizzlies just weren't budging on him. They didn't, no, he's not playing the 5. We're not practicing him at the 5. It's not happening. And then all of a sudden, Josh Landale fouls out. Jaren Jackson Jr. fouls out. And it's like, it's crunch time of the game, the last 3-4 minutes. Do you want to throw P.J. Hall in there? Do you want to go, or you want to go to Santi? And they went with the guy, Santi, who hadn't practiced at the 5 at all, and threw him in that situation. And like you said, he made a couple big plays. So that was really good to see. But here's my perspective. Here's where I'm coming from with this, Brett. Santi got a big contract extension, in the offseason. And it wasn't just, it was a vote of, what I call a vote of confidence contract extension. It wasn't one where the Grizzlies and Santi, went back and forth for 2 months and, he was able to really, see what else was out there on the market. Like, no, the Grizzlies got this done quick. This was a, hey, we want to prove to you that we want you here type of deal. And with that deal, with the monetary value tied to that deal, you got to produce. Mm-hmm. You got to produce, and you have to be, at this point, if you look at the roster, I mean, we've seen what Cedric Coward's done in the last couple games, but you look at the roster and you say, other than Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., who can you depend on to give you 15 points on most nights? Not every single night, but on most nights, this player, not even 20, because Dez could do that. But who can give you 15 points? Who's the best option? And I think coming into the season, most people would have said Santi Aldama is the best option that you have that can give you that. So we haven't seen, that pop as much. And, I want to see it a little bit more because, he's getting paid. He's getting paid like a guy who should be, potentially in the 6th man of the year talks, or who should be, really taking advantage of this role that he's in right now.
Mm-hmm. We know that the Grizzlies are adding a little bit of depth to the front court. Charles Bassey added via the hardship exception, a 10-day hardship signing. What do you expect from him? When do you think we see him? How much run do they give him? What do you expect with this signing?
Oh, guys, we're going to see him tonight. It's not wasting no time around here. Now, when I say we're going to see him tonight, let me preface this by saying this. It's a 10-day contract, and they know, just like we know, that they're struggling on the boards right now. And here's the thing that's worked out in the Grizzlies' favor so far. They've played 2 teams, specifically, that aren't really good in the front court. And those are the 2 games that they've won. And that's going to be the theme of the Grizzlies early in the season. They played the Pelicans. It's Zion, and they're dependent on a second-year guy, Yves Missi, who's still finding his way. And, they don't have much there. Derek Queen is a rookie. They won that game. They can get by in that game. Then when you play Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware, they get bullied. You got beat up a little bit. But then when you go to the 3rd game, and the Pacers are throwing 4 different centers out there to go play alongside of Pascal Siakam because they don't know who in the world they want to play. It's like James Wiseman, then Tony Bradley. And it's like, neither one of these is working. Let's go to Isaiah Jackson. It's like, okay, that's not working. J-Huff, get in there. It's like they're just throwing everything at the wall and trying to find something that sticks. But as the season goes along, you're going to start running into Domantas Sabonis, Nikola Jokic, Ivica Zubac, Victor Wembanyama. And that's why I think the Grizzlies were very forward-thinking. You got through that 3-game stretch, and now as you're about to play teams that have better center play, Charles Bassey is going to come into handy. So when I say we're going to see him right away, honestly, this game against Golden State isn't one where, he would probably be needed as much. Like, they'll be afforded the ability to, hey, let's ease him in because Golden State, Al Horford isn't playing in this game. And then, quite frankly, there's no interior presence on Golden State that really scares you from, they're not a great rebounding team. But if you continue to look at the schedule, that's just not going to be the case. It's not going to be the case. And even when you play Phoenix, Phoenix has Mark Williams. They drafted the rookie Kamal Maluak. They got Nick Richards. They're going to be a little bit bigger. And they're still not the most imposing. But the point is, as the schedule gets tougher, you're going to see more quality bigs. And in this 10-day stretch, you really get to see what you got in Charles Bassey. I don't think he's going to come in here and play 25 minutes or anything like that. But they're going to put him out there knowing that, look, we we got away with it in a couple of these games because we haven't played those type of teams. But I think they know. I've talked to people about it. They know that rebounding is a concern. Even the players know it until they get Zach Edey back, and Charles Bassey should definitely help in that regard.
7 games in 10 days. This is the NBA.
Man, it's always. I feel like at the beginning of the season they just throw a bunch of games in there at these guys and say, "Have at it." Like, we don't care about your rest right now. We don't care about how your body should be feeling as good as it's going to feel all season. So have at it. But yeah, the beginning of the season, like you said, 7 games, 10 days. They already played their first back-to-back. They're going to have another back-to-back that's going to be coming up, I believe, November 2nd and November 3rd. So that one's right around the corner. I think that's Sunday and Monday. So, they're coming out, and they got to get to it. Now, the downside of it for the Grizzlies is they just don't have the healthy bodies to rotate 12, 13 guys, like some teams are afforded to do when they have to get off to these starts. They got to play their guys, and so far we haven't seen, an impact on that. Like, we saw a team that didn't look as good on the first leg of the back-to-back and looked better on the second leg of the back-to-back, when usually it's the opposite. But, it's early in the season. It's those fresh legs. And I think, they're young. Like, the Grizzlies are a young team. Like, we see with the Warriors, for example, Al Horford isn't playing in this game because, they're electing to play him on the second leg of the back-to-back tomorrow against the Clippers and Ivica Zubac rather than play him against the Grizzlies front court.
I was looking at the schedule and see next Monday, and we'll talk about it a lot next Monday, but Jalen Duren comes to FedEx Forum. He may have 50 on the Grizzlies front line.
Yeah, Charles. That's when. By that point, you better hope Charles Bassey has been, all caught up to speed and ready to battle, because that's the game you're going to need him. Because if he isn't up to par by then, I'm with you. Jalen Duren might get 15 and 15 or something.
I know it was talked about last year. It's certainly been talked about early this season, but the foul trouble for Jaren Jackson Jr., we saw him foul out in Game 1. 4 fouls in Game 2. I didn't get to see Game 2. I believe most, if not all 4, were in the first half. Only 3 against Indiana. Yep. Is it something to be concerned about, or is it just early season trying to get into the flow for Jaren Jackson Jr.?
I'm definitely concerned about it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, every time I find myself, and I know a lot of Grizzlies fans have this same thought process, like when you find yourself making the excuses, right? When you say something like, "Oh man, Jaren's getting a bad whistle," or "Oh man, they're not putting him in a great position," or "Oh man, that wasn't a good call," and then you always come back to something, guys, and that's, man, this is year 8.
Yeah.
This isn't year 1. This isn't year 2. This is, oh, man, he just has to learn how this goes in the NBA and the savvy moves of the vets. This is year 8. This isn't some, guy who's just gotten the NBA. So it's like, I negate the excuses at that point. And it's like, man, you gotta compete, and you have to know better. And it's puzzling sometimes, because you have those stretches where if you go to those 2 games where he had 4 fouls, go look at him play in the third quarter. He didn't foul. He didn't foul, and he, especially in that first game, he had 5 blocks in the third quarter and zero fouls. Like, he is capable. And,
we know he can do it.
But yeah, he's very much capable. But it's just I think in his mind, and he wouldn't be the only player that thinks like this. Like, when you have 0 fouls, you tend to play with a little bit more of an aggressiveness. You're going to toe the line a little bit more. And quite frankly, the greatest defenders have done it, right? They're going to pull on your jersey a little more to see what they can get away with. Yep. They might pinch you a little bit, or they might give you a little elbow in the chest just to figure out what they can get away with over the course of the game before the ticky-tack fouls are being called. But Jaren, one of the things that he said that really, didn't ease the concerns of mine when I asked him about the foul trouble about the first couple games. Basically he said he's figuring out how the refs are, there's some rule changes and whatnot, and he's adjusting to the referees. And, I get that, but to me, I think that's a little bit overthinking the situation. Like, yeah, the rules are, there are certain things that are being emphasized more and whatnot, but the fouls that we're seeing Jaren commit, I don't think those fouls are directly related to that. It's offensive fouls when you push a guy into the back, or it's an illegal screen. Like, those have been fouls for the last 20 years. So it's like, like you said, Brett, I truly believe that he can be better in this area. I just want to see it. Like, tonight's going to be a big test, guys. You know why?
Sure
Because
is.
Draymond Green, you go over the course of the history of Warriors and Grizzlies games, the Warriors have done a great job of putting Jaren Jackson Jr. in foul trouble. And it's not because they're one of those teams that constantly attacks. And, like, when he plays against the guys like Anthony Davis and Jokic and those guys, like, they just constantly go at him, and at some point he's going to pick up fouls, and he fouls. But against the Warriors, it's pure savviness. Draymond Green knows, and he said it on his podcast, this isn't a secret, he knows that Jaren fouls a lot, and he completely takes advantage of it, and he tends to get him in foul trouble. So this is going to be a good test, for Jaren to be aware, be mindful of those little savvy moves that Draymond's going to try to pull, in order to get him out of there with 2 quick fouls.
DeMichael, on Draymond Green's Hall of Fame plaque, it should say he just knew how to play.
He's not. There's no 40-inch vertical over there. Every bit of 6'5", 6'6", whatever you want to call it, and he never had the purest, jump shot or anything like that. It's just like you say, he knows how to play. When you watch him play offensively, he knows exactly where Steph Curry's going to be. Every time he gets the ball, you can see him just waiting on the play, waiting on Steph to get to a spot, or he's throwing it to a spot that Steph's going to be at when the ball arrives, and it's pretty. And the same thing translates to defense. He's still quarterbacking on that defense. Like, I think I saw someone say something of the sort that, like, Draymond means as much to Golden State's defense as Steph means to the offense. And I don't think that's really hyperbole to have a guy who, like tonight, for example, they're going to throw him at center probably because, they don't mind resting Al Horford tonight. And then the next game, when they play the Clippers, he'll go back to power forward. And, like, he has that versatility. They will start a 6'6" guy at center one night. And then we've seen games where he's guarded threes and things like that. Like, his defensive versatility, his rim protection, his playmaking on the defensive end, it's all smart because he doesn't have some 40-inch vertical or anything like that.
DeMichael, respectfully to the football comparison, I don't put him on offense. I don't say quarterback. When he's on defense, I put him on defense, and he is Ray Lewis. He is Jack Lambert. He is Mike Singletary. He's those great middle linebackers.
I like that. I like that. That's a great way to put it. Yeah,
it is.
That's exactly who he is. He's quarterbacking everything on defense, and he runs the show. He wears that green dot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really does. DeMichael, Saturday it was fun watching Cedric Coward and the performance that he put up against the Pacers, and it was interesting because it really felt like, especially thinking about people I talk to and some of my friends that follow the Grizzlies very closely, of draft night when the Grizzlies drafted him and kind of all the talk and all the unknown of what could he be, the excitement that was there around that. Then preseason came around. He goes out there, his first preseason game, has 1 point, and then people kind of question. But then Saturday night, he goes out there, 27 points, 6 for 6 from 3. It was really fun, and it felt like that was kind of the start of, okay, he could be the real deal. What have you made of Cedric Coward? Not just that 27-point performance against the Pacers, but what he's done through the first 3 games. Because game 1, I know it got overshadowed by Ja Morant and what he did, but the energy that Cedric Coward brought in his minutes was massive in that game.
Man, guys, I don't even know where to start right here. I guess when we talk about Cedric Coward, my mind is just all over the place at this point because I always go back to preseason, right? I go back to training camp when I'm watching him shoot the ball, and he's not missing.
Yeah.
Like, guys, and it's to the point where I'm trying to be conscious of how many videos I post on social media because it's going to look like I'm only posting when he makes shots. But that's just what it was. Like, he wasn't missing many shots. And then when you talk to the guys who have practiced a little bit more, and what I wrote about the other day, like, the Grizzlies weren't surprised by that 6 of 6 3-point showing because Ja Morant said, this is what I've seen all through training camp. I was just waiting to see it in a game. And Jock Landale says, man, I saw it in training camp. He's just poised beyond his years. And then you hear it out the horse's mouth himself in preseason, because now I'm moving on to the preseason game. And he's struggling in the preseason games, guys. He's struggling. He's not making a shot from 3-point range. He's missing some bad. Like, hitting the back square, then bouncing off the front rim. Like, he's missing something bad. And he said, I trust my work. You know, the confidence never wavered, and that's so big for a rookie. Because so many times we see rookies go through those stretches, and you're like, man, he's scared to shoot right now. Or they're hesitating, and they're like, and they commit travels and little turnovers just from, as Tomas Isola likes to say, paralysis by analysis. Like overthinking the game to the point
not getting
where
their feet set. Vital says getting their puppy set.
Getting the puppy set. There you go. And with Cedric Coward, I haven't seen that. The confidence is through the roof. And it's to the point where talking to him after the bad shooting performances in the preseason and talking to him after this most recent game, the 6-6 3-point shooter, the same guy. He said, hey, like I told y'all in the preseason, I trust the work. I know my shots are going to eventually fall. So, he's someone to be excited about, guys. The defense is really translating so far. I think that's even more impressive than the shot making because it's hard to maintain the efficiency that he's been on the offensive end.
Yeah.
But I don't think the defense that he's been playing will be hard to maintain. That's energy, that's effort, and quite frankly, that's just gifts. That's being 6'6" with a 7'2" wingspan.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah, hard to keep up 70% from the field and 73% from three. I don't know if he's going to keep that up, but it has been fun to watch through 3 games. DeMichael, always fun when you join us. Enjoy these upcoming games this week, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks, DeMichael.
Thank you. DeMichael Cole with us from the Commercial Appeal. He covers the Memphis Grizzlies. He was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. I didn't want to drag him into this, but I'm going to say it with you, and I hate to not include him, but I didn't want to pull him into this. So the banner of Draymond knows how to play. Does Jaren?
It's a good question. It really is.
8th year, time to know.
I love what he said about Jaren in particular with the fouls is kind of when you start playing this excuse game with him, and even when Jaren's saying, well, I'm trying to figure out how the refs are calling it. Like he said, you're in your 8th season. Like
you're no rookie.
You should have it figured out. Even if there's some little changes, it's a different ref that you're not familiar with. You should have the basis of it. And so, yeah, I don't want to analyze, deep analyze his game by any means. But I would not put him in the same conversation as Draymond. That's all I'll say about that.
Over these next 7, I would take 4 and 3. And throw a victory parade.
Yeah, no, it like he said, it gets tough here, and especially with this little road trip. You've got Golden State and kind of what they always do. You get the Lakers without Luka and LeBron, but then last night you got Austin Reeves who goes off for 50 points. 51. So I mean, you never know what you get there.
He's always Magic Johnson against us.
That's right. Yeah, him and
Hashimura is always
Rui
clean.
Hashimura. That's exactly right. So I mean, there's definitely some tough games. You get even deeper at Toronto. That's had a nice start to the season. Detroit has played well. Houston, they're still looking for win number 1, but they've played really well in those 2 games that they have played. And then Dallas with Cooper Flagg coming to town in a couple Friday nights. So yeah, I mean it's tough. Oh, and then after that you get the defending champs at the house with OKC. So yeah, this schedule gets really, really brutal. So yeah, if you can come out of it playing around 500 ball, I think you're definitely pleased with where you're at, especially with all the injuries you have. And I'm excited to see what Charles Bassey brings to the table and see how many minutes we get out of him or get to watch him play later tonight. Well, before we get to a break, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsors, Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender. Available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to JaguarBluffCity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Let's get to another break, and when we return, we've got Monday Night Football kicking off in just a little bit. We'll have our Monday Night Football pick and preview. We'll also get to our Big Four running backs for both these teams. 4 from the Chiefs, 4 from the Commanders. That comes your way next on Sports Time.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
All 650 acquisition fee K2 SE 195,392 MSRP 24,375. Sorrento SG 405,856 MSRP 34,275. Sold S727 2681 MSRP 24,980. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Must finance through KFA. Offer valid through 11/02/2025.
Hey, Mid-South, you're not going to believe the deals that Jeff Allen's got going on at Gossett Kia South in Mount Moriah.
You got that right, Randy. 2025 Kia K5 LXS, $159 a month. 39 MPG highway, $35.95 due at signing. 24-month lease. 2025 Kia Sorrento, $189 per month. 48-month lease, $49.95 due at signing. 2025 Kia Soul, $209 per month. $35.95 due at signing. 24-month lease. Plus a new 2026 EV9, 72 months financing available at rates as low as 3.49.
Sounds like a plan, Jeff, and they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations. Fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Kevin Harlan here for Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner from Arrowhead in Kansas City when the Chiefs take on the Commanders. Patrick Mahomes and a resurgent Kansas City have moved to 4-3 on the season with back-to-back wins. Now they face a 3-4 Washington team dealing with injuries. Don't miss it on Monday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmitt Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable. And one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 or in Mississippi.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Still a little bit heavy at times. 240 south at South Parkway with some traffic. Still trying to filter out of the Midtown area. Still a little bit of volume over here from time to time on 40 east as you come past Sycamore View Road. Just be careful on 40 continuing out towards Fayette County. A little bit of radar out in that area just past New Airline Road. Zips Car Wash is where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check them out online for a location at zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome aboard. ABC's Monday Night Football.
Well, Brett, I know we're going to talk Monday Night Football, but I do just want to go ahead and get this out of the way. We flipped it over to ESPNU to watch the Lady Tigers take on Vanderbilt. This court's fantastic. I mean, St. Jude did it right with this court. It is beautiful. The St. Jude logo at center court.
Looks real nice.
All the stuff around it on the baseline and everywhere with websites and different things for St. Jude. It looks phenomenal. The court, 10 out of 10.
Oh, it really does. Oh, it really does.
Yeah, no, it is really, really good. But we got to talk Monday Night Football before.
And the theme at St. Jude.
Oh, yeah.
We won't stop.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's awesome. They definitely.
Well done.
They definitely knocked it out of the park with the court for sure. But we got to talk some Monday Night Football. It is I don't know how to describe this game tonight. A weird one. Kansas City and the Commanders. We know the injuries to the Commanders. Marcus Mariota gonna make the start, and because of that and the way that Kansas City has been playing, they are a 10.5-point favorite right now at Arrowhead. So this one could get weird.
Yeah, it could. It was supposed to be a little bit, maybe not changing of the guard, but Jaden Daniels' time to shine on Monday Night Football against Patrick Mahomes. Instead, it will be Marcus Mariota as Jaden Daniels is out. And Washington, last year's fun story, trying to avoid a 3-4 start. Patrick Mahomes, he still may be the best in the league.
Yeah.
14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, already at 1,800 yards.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, he is.
This is when it was supposed to not be slipping, but slowing down a little.
Maybe plateauing a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
better word.
He is really, really good. And when he's in the game, he puts them in a great spot to win. And that's what they've been doing.
They were 0-2.
Recently.
We were about to freak out, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, we were all sitting here going, "Oh no, look at this Chiefs team," and they've really turned it around. They're starting to get a little healthy as well. So yeah, I mean, we could be talking about the Chiefs rattling off a handful of wins here and finding themselves at the top of the standings, relatively soon.
But Mahomes, he'll be going against Cliff Kingsbury, his old coach at Texas Tech, now the OC in Washington.
Yeah, that'll be
in D.C.
Yeah, it'll be a fun storyline, and Cliff Kingsbury, he's a guy that you look around at one of the openings in the NFL, and maybe some potential openings in the NFL, and he's certainly a name that is floating around. So he wants this offense to keep doing what they've been doing, and could be a little tough tonight with Marcus Mariota, but his name's certainly out there.
If you were one of these colleges, would you have any appetite for trying that again?
I mean, yeah, if he wanted to, might as well, right? I mean, I would love to have him as a college coach again.
And we know how much NFL influence has kind of in this new makeup of how you want to set your building up and player personnel wise. All the buzzwords from the NFL are now in college.
That's right. So might as well bring somebody from that level that knows it really well down to college.
We will call it 10.5. Kansas City minus the 10.5 at fabled Arrowhead against Washington. Landon.
I mean, to stick with the theme of how weird this game is, this point spread is weird. I can see it going either way, but something tells me Washington will probably close the gap here, so I'm going to go Commanders.
Okay.
Brian.
Yeah, this is really tough. I usually do not like taking big favorites in the NFL, but we saw over the weekend a lot of
that's true.
Big favorites go out there and take care of business. So we'll keep that rolling, and I'll take Kansas City minus that 10.5 tonight.
I'm with the KC side. I think they win 35-14, win easily. I was 4-0 in the NFL
Right.
yesterday.
How about that?
Straight up with the New York Jets, no less.
JETS, Jets. How about that? Win
Jarvis,
number one.
the only game they win all year, and I got it.
Love it.
Hey, Bryant, you were 2-2. Landon,
right.
you were 2-2 in college. On Saturday, Landon 6-3.
Wow.
Missed his lock and shock, so in games against us, he was really good.
Yeah.
Bryant, you were 3-6. I was 3-6. Bryant, you won your college football lock. I won my college football shot, but I didn't win it straight up. North Carolina's 2-point play cost me.
Oh, man.
That's right.
It was that close.
Oh, that's brutal. Yeah. Well, I was glad. Except, Landon? What was your shock from over the weekend? I don't remember it now.
I think my shock
was it Cal?
Yeah, I think it was Cal. Double overtime game.
I was
Friday
thinking
night.
about
Come
that.
on.
Oh man! And you got to the point where you had to go for 2. So if you had I know a lot of people had plus 7.5 out there. They go for 2, they get it, and then Cal can't do anything with it. Oh, that was brutal.
I heard a lot of questionable calls in that game, but
Really?
can't dispute the final score.
Group lock, we took one right to the chops. We all had Mississippi State, and they did everything but win.
Yeah, no,
and
that
then
was
didn't cover.
that was insane. The fact that they weren't able to cover that, that was wild.
Unreal.
Our handicappers on Friday: Allen Bell, 5-1 NFL, 2-2 college football. Bruce Marshall, 3-2 in college football, 10-3 the last two weeks.
Really good.
NFL, Bruce was 2-0 in the NFL.
Heck yeah.
Brad Bellamy,
Nice.
2-2 on college picks.
Nice.
Had Ole Miss and Vandy. Had UCLA with all those points, and had the over 50.5 Friday night Boise in Nevada. Brad did it again with player props. Had Keyshawn Butte plus 320 ring the bell.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Another one of those. I still don't think we're doing him justice counting these as wins and losses, because that win that should count like the odds.
It should.
That's about 3 wins.
I mean, absolutely. Hey, I'm sure Brad, I know he's betting this. He's not giving us bets that he's not betting. He probably doesn't care how we count them as long as they're hitting his bank account.
He had Jake Ferguson, Tyler Warren getting touchdowns. They didn't. But those 2 losses, you win a lot more with the win.
Oh yeah, no, those make up for a lot when those player props hit.
Yeah, I like him picking player props. I think it's killing his percentage.
Well, yeah.
But he's wanting green.
Exactly, yeah.
Green check marks.
He wants
He's
to.
not worried about percentages.
No, of course not. He wants to cash, and that's what he's doing.
All right, the running backs all time for these 2 teams. Where are we?
We're all over the place. Not really.
I am too.
I think.
I'll kick us off.
Okay, kick us off.
If we're,
I think we'll be somewhat.
If we're
similar.
accepting volunteers for
Please.
this, I'll go ahead and
Go
get
ahead.
this
I'm
started.
digging for my list. I don't know why I don't have my list in front of me.
Brett, you know what we're doing at this time, and good Lord.
I know. It's Monday. Isn't
One
it?
of those days. It's Monday after 5 o'clock. You really never know what's going to happen.
It is.
Go ahead, Landon.
Without further ado, get things started off with an OLI. How about that?
All right.
With the Washington Commanders, I got to add Adrian Peterson as my OLI. Can't really add him in the list.
And not really great today with him in the headlines.
No.
And he's everywhere, prominently displayed at Oklahoma.
Yes,
as
he
one of their
is.
great
Oh,
players.
of course.
But I could not pull a Bryant and make him number one of greatest player of all time like he did with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
All right.
I like to mention that as often as possible.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Were you even here when that happened?
Nope, but I heard the stories
Everything
about it.
gets grandfathered in, Bryant. You know that.
That's
Good
insane.
and bad.
Yeah,
That is
all of
insane.
it. It's part of the history of the show, so I'm going to bring it up. But to start with the top four, my number 4, I'm going to go with Clinton Portis. My number 3, Cliff Battles. Number 2, Larry Brown. And how could number 1 be anyone else besides the Diesel, John Riggins?
Yeah, John Riggins is number 1 in Washington for sure.
Yeah, he's absolutely is. I'll go next because mine is very similar with the exact same names, a little bit of a different order. I have Cliff Battles at number 4, Clifton Portis 3, Larry Brown 2, and John Riggins number 1.
I'm Brown 2. I'm Portis 3. Somewhere at Washington, you don't count Sean Alexander as Washington, do you?
No, I wouldn't.
I think wasn't Gerald Riggs in there with Washington at one time? Did I have him on my list? You can tell I don't have my list in front of me.
I can tell you don't have your list in front of you. Yeah, he might have been in there, yeah.
I'm trying to think where I put my list.
Brad, it's Monday after 5 o'clock. It really,
No
you never know what's going to happen.
And I kind of just broke down at John Riggins. Nobody counts Riggins as a Jet, do they?
No.
That would be like counting Favre as one.
Well, man, don't put it past me, Landon. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, Kansas City number 1's easy. Jamal Charles.
I think it's Jamal Charles easily.
I have a
That was kind of the one
I saw him
name that I
rip off a
knew.
run in person
Yeah.
at the Dome against the Saints on a Sunday after Ole Miss and Tulane on Saturday. It was one of the great runs of all time.
Well, my only dispute is my number 1 is Priest Holmes.
Whoa. All right. Well, give us the rest of your list then.
Well, it's Priest, 2 Jamal Charles,
Okay.
3 Christian Okoye, and 4 Larry Johnson.
All right. I like that.
We could just leave out Marcus Allen.
Ooh.
I did.
Ooh.
I did not. Marcus Allen's 2 for me. Just how
Yeah.
money he was on the goal line and still had plenty in his Chiefs year. Larry Johnson 3 and Priest Holmes 4.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I will also go with Marcus Allen at number. But I'll go with him at 4. Larry Johnson 3. Priest Holmes 2, and Jamal Charles number 1.
Gerald Riggs. What am I doing? 2 years with Washington. He's
How
not
about that,
top 4.
Brad? A cup of coffee.
Yeah, but he didn't. George Rogers, kind of the same thing. Who was my
OLIs?
4th?
It could be your OLI, Brett.
Oh, Stephen Davis from Auburn. I'm at their all-time rushing
yeah,
list now.
That's a good one. That's a really
Stephen
good one.
Davis from Auburn was it.
But 2 years is plenty of time to have someone in the top 4. I mean, good Lord. I had a guy in the top one.
Hadn't thrown a pass.
Hadn't even thrown a pass. Hadn't gotten injured yet. You know, man. I'm telling you,
Look at the stories.
We're rewriting history if he never goes down with that injury.
So where's he rank with the Steelers then? We'll do that in a few weeks. won't we?
We'll do that in a few weeks. Yeah, it's called a tease, Brett.
OLI, I guess.
Yeah, we'll wait till we get there. I don't know. He might be number 1. He might not be. I don't
Might
know.
be a podium guy.
Could be. Certainly could be a podium guy. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers you're talking about. But should be fun tonight with this game. Really don't know how it's going to play out. I mean, this is one of those Monday night games where it could go a lot of different ways, and that's what happens when you have a backup quarterback in there. But I do think Marcus Mariota is capable of keeping Washington in this game.
Somewhere in there today, I lost my energy. Was it at the Blind Resume or was it at Duddy, Waller, and Moab? But somewhere I
think it was Moab, Brett.
It had to
I
have
kind of
been him.
blacked out from that point on, didn't I?
I think when you gave that score, it just kind of blew everything out. You know, it's that'll happen sometime.
One time, serious as he could be. I mean, serious. We got to about 5:54, and Rob Fisher said, "Brett, I was only prepared for 2 hours and 54 minutes. The rest of it's all yours. I said, what are you talking about?
Man, hey, you got to get us to the finish line. That's teamwork there, Brett. You know,
That's
when
it.
one falls, you pick them up. So I know that's what you did with Rob. But it should be fun tonight. That game kicking off 7:15 over on ABC. But you can also listen to it right here on Sports 56. Well, let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. And when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Mo's Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
The next time you are having a business meeting and you get to choose the restaurant, here's an idea. Choose Sunrise. Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar are the perfect locations for a relaxed conversation about work issues. Going to some chain restaurant where it's too loud and the servers aren't focused completely on giving you and your coworkers perfect service is just going to make a meeting more complicated. But if you meet at either Sunrise location, you can rely on a comfortable atmosphere with terrific service and, as an added bonus, great food served fresh and fast.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Hit the road in your new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike and check out our new location at 1956 Covington Pike. 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, standard third row, better warranty, and 0% for 60 months available versus 4.99 for 60 months on RAV4 PHEV. That's 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross or Outlander PHEV, your choice, now $399 a month. Plus 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander, 7-seat capacity, more head and leg room, and longer warranty than Toyota RAV4. Get yours for $449 a month or buy it for $29,715. And always find peace of mind with our 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1956 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
Outlander SEO 14178, MSRP 32715, Eclipse SEO 39973, MSRP 317, PHEV SC 00816, MSRP 42615, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, 595 acquisition fee, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something I don't understand. You said you love me, and that's a fact.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time.
You are looking live.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries, its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
It's obviously Crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is that the World Series is all knotted up one apiece as the two teams make their way back to L.A. We'll get Game 3 tonight, 7 o'clock, and it's part of that sports equinox that we mentioned earlier. And, of course, being back at home, the Dodgers are a pretty heavy favorite tonight over the Blue Jays. But it was Game 1 Friday night where the Blue Jays had all those runs. The Dodgers come back in Game 2. So we'll see where this series goes from here. But so far, it's been a lot of fun. A little overshadowed by the weekend of football. But hopefully this week we'll be able to get a good look at this World Series, and we'll see where it goes. Certainly the Dodgers have to be happy taking one on the road and returning back home.
I have fallen in love with Addison Barger, the hero from Friday night for Toronto. What I learned today, party like it's 1937 on Nashville's West End at Vanderbilt. Highest ranked by the Associated Press in 88 years. The AP just started doing their poll a year before that in 36. They're number 9 since 1937 when it was ranked number 7 by AP. They are solid, and this week in one of the biggest contrasts in budget, carrying facilities history, Vandy at Haughty, Texas.
Yeah, it is insane what they're doing. We'll see if they can keep it up. Brett, what I could have done without today, we talked, I believe last week or the week before, about the story that was making a ton of headlines around college basketball with guard London Johnson committing to Louisville. This became a big story because he was playing with the G League. He was part of G League Ignite. After G League Ignite disbanded, he was put on a G League team, had been playing there for the last season or two. Since then, though, there's been a lot on both sides saying this is a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's not an issue at all. But there was a story over on On3 from Joe Tipton that broke it down and was saying basically the NCAA views this as he was only making the amount of money for living expenses. And in there, he has a quote, Joe Tipton does, that says, "The main factor that jeopardizes eligibility is if they've gone through the NBA draft process or previously signed an NBA contract." Now today, the headlines are that former G League / pro guard TJ Clark is looking to make the jump to college. The 6'3" shooting guard has heard from several high major programs, including Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia, Ohio State, and Clemson. Now the problem with this is everything I found online shows that he went through the draft process in 2023, didn't get drafted, played in Summer League, and has been playing in the G League. So now we're having guys that are trying to come back after going to the draft, and until the NCAA says, hey, everyone is open to do this, you can't do that. Like, what are we doing with college basketball right now?
You're a pro player, but to expect the NCAA to take the lead on something like this when they always sweat the little things.
I mean, it's insane.
I could have done without this, and as more and more comes out about the NBA, Adam Silver's commissionership, I think, is in jeopardy. It was a Keystone Cops investigation that didn't find a thing and left a player out there playing that had already taken a dive. A dive on a player prop, we'll learn soon if it was on bigger things. And you throw in the salary cap issue with the Clippers. Adam Silver, his time could be up. He should be fired.
Yeah, the Terry Rozier thing is crazy because you're right. The NCAA has this investigation. There's nothing there. It's not a big deal. He goes back, is playing.
Left him out there.
Yeah, and then now the FBI has him in handcuffs. I mean, that is really, really something
set fire
concerning.
To $26 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. So, yeah, we'll see where we go from here. Where are you beaming tonight?
Hollywood for Game 3 of the World Series. Max Scherzer versus the Jays. Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers. Dodgers' first World Series game in Los Angeles was in their second year in Tinseltown. 1959, October 4th at the Coliseum in front of 92,000 with Wally Moon from Arkansas hitting moonshots.
Yeah, that game will be fun tonight. I'm heading down to FedEx Forum to check out the new-look Memphis Tigers against the Arkansas Razorbacks. It will be the second exhibition for Arkansas after they got an easy victory over Cincinnati Friday night. We'll see what this new Tiger roster looks like.
Wish it counted. We start to learn about the Tigers and the Razorbacks tonight. Kansas City and Washington Monday Night Football. The Chiefs are getting right at the right time. Feels hopeless for Toronto in Chavez Ravine. if they're going to get any more. It feels like it's on the way to 4-1.
Yeah, it does. It feels like it's going all Dodgers yet again. But it should be a fun night. It's the sports equinox, so you got a little bit of everything: NFL, NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball. We'll see what this Tiger team looks like. Hopefully a lot of people heading down to FedEx Forum. If you're not, you can catch that game on ESPNU, and you can listen to the football game tonight right here on Sports 56. Well, that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.